Welcome to Green High School tonight for the game between the Wadsworth Grizzlies and Green Bulldogs. I'm Jeff Jenkins filling in for John Bernard tonight, along with Larry Varner, getting ready to bring you Game 5 in the 1999 Grizzlies season. Grizzlies enter the game with a record of 4-0, 1-0 in the Suburban League. The Bulldogs are 3-1. Their only loss was a non-conference. Last week they opened up with a win over the Cloverleaf Colts. Well, Larry, it's football time. We're going to have a lot of activity tonight. Got two offenses that like to put points on the board.
Well, you better believe it. I mean, you talk about a shootout. I mean, Green is even scoring more points than Wadsworth are, and they can come at you so many different ways. They like to run the ball, and their running back number 3 to watch is Garrett Truman, who had a couple hundred yards last week. They can also throw. Ryan Gibson, a junior, is a very good quarterback. His favorite receiver is split end number 21, Paul Croning. And also they got a very good tight end by the name of John Fuller. So they can come at you a bunch of different ways. And to show you how they can score points, last week against Cloverleaf, they were down 21-0 and came back to score 46 points to win the game. So knowing what Wadsworth can do, this is going to be a shootout. And as you can see on your screen, it's a beautiful night for football. Partly cloudy, 60 degrees. And here are your Wadsworth Grizzlies coming out on the field. To start the game, Green won the toss, and surprisingly they elected to receive rather than defer. So Wadsworth will be kicking off to Green.
Actually, in a game like this, it might be a good thing. Come out, try to establish some defensive tone to the game. You're right, the Grizzlies, they opened up with an impressive Suburban League win last week, demolishing Revere. Both teams do the same thing. They like to put points on the board. Tonight it'll be whichever defense can hold who first. That's probably
I think that's true. The Wadsworth defense is going to have to come up big, and they can't let Green have the big plays. And I think the key for Wadsworth is they're going to have to get some turnovers to stop this Green offense. The Wadsworth offense, they score they have 1-minute drives. I think they scored 1 minute 4 seconds last week, 2 minutes and 5 seconds. They scored a touchdown. But what they hopefully can do is stay on the field a little longer, keep that Green offense off the field.
Yeah, you're going to have to, as you get towards the end of the season, if you're going to think about postseason, you got to establish the running game. Can't rely on the pass solely. The Grizzlies, you know, you come out, I was talking to the coach before the game, see if there was any significant injuries along the way. Coach said everybody's ready to play, although talking to you and a couple of parents on the sideline, Jeff Hanna's been out all week in the secondary. Jeff plays safety, and also Jake McElvain's been sick all week, so we'll have to see if those guys come out, or they're going to have to do a little makeshift in the secondary.
Yeah, the coaches are talking about trying to figure out what they're going to do. They're thinking about taking Pat McCarthy and switching him for corner to free safety, and they might be using Osterland. They might even be using Vujas as a safety if Hanna and McElvain can't go. So that's something we're just going to have to see. It's going to be almost play to play.
Yeah. Garrett Truman is deep for Green, along with Joe March. Take that back, 34, Neil Smith.
Sam Galpert will kick for Wadsworth. And we're about ready to get this one underway.
Galpert gets a nice kick down, may roll out of bounds. It does. Flag comes out.
And that flag is delay a game. And what happens is the receiving team, in this case Green, will get the ball 1st and 10 on the 35-yard line. So Wadsworth comes out on defense. We'll take a look and see who is out there. I see number 4, that's Steve Robertson, who's been playing for Matt 4 since 4 went out injured.
And Adam Copeland's in the safety spot where Jeff Hanna usually is.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, they were talking about him.
Well, Adam played some safety last year. He's got those good hands, got some speed back there, knows the position. You've got, I don't know if Jake's out there or not. I see Karowski's out there and Dent, so no.
And there's Joe Tracomie out there too. It's playing. Yeah. It looks like Tracomie's going to be playing a quarter and Copeland's going to be playing a quarter. And they've got Thompson playing, Steve Robertson playing safety right now.
Now that is definitely a different mix.
That is a backfield that I'll guarantee you has not played together before.
Yeah, you got Jake Wilhite. Yeah, that's exactly how you got Dent and Karowski in the middle.
Well, let's see how we do.
Green brings the ball up, quarterback under center. Takes a long look, steps back, throws over, pass deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete. Pass was intended for Paul Cronin.
And I think you can see real quick, the Green coaches know the story on the Wadsworth secondary, and they're going to test it right off the bat. That was just a quick stand up to the wide receiver on the right side, and they were going to see, all right, Wadsworth, can you cover? Let's see.
Gibson's not a real big quarterback. He's only 5'10". He only took a 3-step drop that time and had a hard time throwing over the Grizzly front line. He'll try it again. Set to go. Gibson under center. Long count. Handoff right side to Truman. Truman gains about 7 yards on the play over the right guard spot. So Garrett Truman on his first run chews up about 8 yards. Yeah, give him 9.
If you watch there, just a quick hitter, and the opening is there at the line of scrimmage, and he just kind of bulls his way forward for a few more yards. They give him 9 on the play.
They gave him 9.
So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 1. And this is what you're going to see all night. Green's going to come at you on the ground. They're going to come at you in the air. And it's just the Wadsworth defense has got to rise up big and stop them.
Yeah, Green's got a big offensive line. Gibson under center again. It goes right up off right tackle to Gibson. He's over the 48-yard line. First down, Green.
Looks like he gained about 5 on the play, which is enough for the first down.
They're getting good spots. They gave him almost 7 on that play, almost to the 50.
So I'll bring up 1st and 10 for Green on the their own 49-yard line.
The Grizzlies want to stop that run. They want to make Green get into that passing situation.
And on the other hand, Green wants to run the ball.
Yeah.
They would rather run than throw, even though they can throw.
Cronin split left. Gibson under center. Handoff this time to the fullback, number 22, Jesse Tatterson. Tatterson gets about 3 on the play. Yeah, give him a long 2 where the spot is. Going to bring up 2nd down and 8.
Coming in the game now, here comes Jake McIlvain and also Jeff Hanna. So after the beginning defensive backfield that we saw, they're now getting more into their regular defensive backfield on a 2nd down and 8. Maybe they'll do this, only bring those kids in on passing downs, 2nd and 8.
That's very possible. Gibson under center, in motion. Gibson back to pass. Pass long. Pass was intended for number 45, John Fuller, about 6 yards too high. I don't know, Larry, if you saw that. There was an awful lot of, there was a crossing play, but there was 3 receivers that about hit each other in the center of the field. I think somebody was reading the wrong route that time.
Well, I'll tell you, number 45 did come open. Pat McCarthy was just a little bit tardy getting over there, and he was open, and he caught the ball, probably would have touched him. Like you say, the ball was about 6 yards overthrown. So that's going to bring up a 3rd and 8, another passing down for Green. And let's see what they do this time.
Trying to get a line on all the players on the Green line, get some sizes. Green's got some size up front.
I'll tell you, they're not as big as some of the teams we've played, and they're not as big as Medina, for example, who are absolutely huge. They and Wadsworth size-wise match up. Neither team is, by high school standards, particularly big, but the Wadsworth kids, of course, are very heads-up, very savvy, and quite experienced, and I think that's pretty much the case on the Green side of the field, too. So here we go, 3rd and 8. That's the first big play for Green, first one they've had to convert.
Now they're set to go. They send 2 receivers out to the right. Gibson under center, takes a snap, drops straight back, and he runs out of time. Grizzlies get him in the backfield. Let's see who got him. Number 89, Chris Brink was in there for the sack.
Well, you can say that Chris Brink got the sack, and you watch here. But this is a covered sack, right? He's looking downfield. Oops, there's nothing there. Well, let me look over here. Oh, boy, now I'm in trouble. And you see here comes Chris Brink in from behind to make the tackle. So the Wadsworth defense, cobbled together as it is, did a very good job, allowing Green to pick up only 15 yards and 1 1st and 10 in that play, so Green has to punt.
Try to get the number on the punter. I believe it's number 22. Jesse Tatterson punts deep for the Grizzlies. Ben Bugis, 40-yard punt. Bugis takes it, brings it back about 6 yards.
So I would say a 40-yard punt and a 6-yard return. And when they spot the ball down, Wadsworth will take over around the 15-yard line. You watch Vugis, he starts to this side of the field, and there's nothing there. Tries to cut back, but by this time it's all over. There were defenders all over the place. So Wadsworth takes over, 1st and 10 on the 15-yard line, and let's see what they do. And in particular, be interesting, are they going to come out throwing, or are they going to run the ball?
Well, you got Copeland. They may. You got Copeland split left. You got Vugis on the right side. Hoover under center. And Hoover rolls out right. And he's going to Brink down. Brink's got it. Brink gets caught. Shoestring tackle brought down by number 45, John Fuller. Well, Larry?
Yeah, I think we answered the question there. Brink came out absolutely clear. We were talking about this before. Now watch. Hoover's got plenty of room to run. Right now, he could pick up the first down by running, but he sees Brink downfield, and Brink is so fast for somebody 6'3". The ball is just laid in there perfectly, and I'm almost surprised that he couldn't run away from the defensive back.
39 yards on the pickup. Hoover under center again. This time, quick pitch. Joey Jacome, left side, not a lot, maybe 3.5 on the play. So Jacome picks up 3. Grizzlies will have the ball. Second down, 7 yards to go on the green side of the field at the 43-yard line.
I read an article in the paper today which is kind of interesting. There's a timeout, referee's timeout, I don't know for what. They have in the NFL a quarterback rating system where they take into account what a quarterback does. Yards gained, touchdowns, interceptions, all this type of stuff. The highest rated quarterback in the NFL was John Elway. 1 year he had a rating of like 112. They did it for Mike Hoover, and he came out with a rating of 130. He's thrown 17 passes without an interception, and almost half of his passes have gone for touchdowns. So
that's quite impressive.
That's impressive, yeah.
Hoover again, Copeland. Boo just split right, goes back, left side. Brink in the flat. Brink bowls a couple guys over, gains about 3.5, 4 yards on the play.
That was a nice call, but it didn't fool anybody. When Brink was over there to receive the pass, if you watch this, okay, it looks like he's going to throw back to Brink, but there are 2 defenders right behind Brink, and they're on him right there as soon as he catches the ball. And Brink just does a good job of plowing through to pick up the 5 yards that he did.
Mike might have gave that away a little bit too soon, too. He had everybody moving this way, turn back to look. Here we go again, Grizzlies spread out. Osula on right side. I think we got Copeland on the left. Back, he's going to try to get Copeland over the top. Nice effort that time. Pass was right there, a little bit through the fingertips. Had a defender all over him. It's going to set up 4th down and a long 3.
Well, Paul Cronin for Green does a very good job defensively. The ball's perfectly thrown, but if you notice, Cronin just got a hand up there and probably distracted Copeland. And Wadsworth, it looks like they're going back into punt formation with the 4th down and 3 on the 39-yard line. And Green seems to be buying it. So back to punt for Wadsworth is
Tony Moeller. And we have deep for Green. We've got number 24, and right now Drew Doak. Ball goes out of bounds.
That was just a little pooch kick, and he put the ball out of bounds, and I think they're going to mark it on about the 20-yard line. So it's a 20-yard, well, they're marking on the 19, so it'll be a 20-yard kick, but they did what they have to do. Check real quick what's going on with Wadsworth opponents tonight. Barberton is playing at Mayfield, and I don't know much about Mayfield, but I sure hope Barberton can get on the winning track again. And Cuyahoga Falls is playing at Brush. You would expect the Falls to be able to win that game. And as the time goes on here, we'll tell you the rest of what's going on with the Wadsworth opponents.
Gibson set to go again, brings Green up. Pitches out, left side. Nice hole on the left side that time. Garrett Truman.
Looks like a gain of about 8. To continue on, Medina's got a real toughie. They're playing at Mid-Park. Mid-Park is one of the best Division I teams in the state. In the conference, Revere is playing at Highland. You wouldn't be surprised if Revere won that one. Norton, winless, is playing at Talmadge, and Talmadge is a surprise of the Suburban League. They're 4-0, and they were picked to finish like 2-5 in the league, and I'll get the rest of them as soon as this play is over.
Set again, Ryan Gibson set to go. Green sends out receivers right and left. They're in the I formation. Gibson hands off. Truman right up the middle. Going to gain maybe a yard. He's going to be close.
To continue on with what the teams are doing, the last one, Copley, who's undefeated and has to be figured along with the winner of this game to be the pick to win the conference, is playing at Cloverleaf. And, you know, you talk about a team that's been playing in tough luck, that Cloverleaf team. I mean, they lost to state-ranked Warren Howland. They lost to Medina Division I school in double overtime. Then they managed to beat Buckeye. In Green, they were up 21-0 and lost. Don't be surprised if they give Copley quite a tussle. 1st and 10 here for Green.
Gibson again, I formation, sends receivers out both ways. Got motion this time, Tatterson, handoff, Truman, right side. Somebody better grab him. He's off to the races, and Truman, there's no flags down yet. He's going all the way. Green's going to get on the books first.
It's a 70-yard touchdown run, and this is what Wadsworth has to be worried about. if they get outside, they are so very, very quick. There's nothing fancy about this play. It's just a handoff to go outside, but the Wadsworth defenders couldn't get out there fast enough to turn him inside. So he got the sideline, a couple of good downfield blocks, and he's off to the races. So that makes it a 6-0 game, Green, with the extra point coming up.
It looked like that time the middle linebacker, one of the linebackers for the Grizzlies, got caught inside trying to stop it. Truman bounced outside and was off to the races.
Well, if Wadsworth wants to win tonight, that's the kind of things they can't do. The extra point is good.
Austin
so it's
Wellick.
going to be 7-0 Green.
Austin Wellick with the extra point. Remember, Grizzly football is brought to you on WCTV by Kovac Realtors. They're located at 157 Great Oaks Trail. They can satisfy all your realty needs, so give them a call, 336-8883.
And I know you people have been waiting to find out how the Shelby Whippets did last weekend. They played Tiffin, and Tiffin is ranked in the state Division III. They came up big and won 14-7. Tonight they play Norwalk at home, and it's the Shelby Whippets homecoming game, so there'll be some extra motivation for them. And believe it or not, they are ranked 3rd in their region in the state playoff picture, so it looks like the Whippets have a real good chance of going to the state playoffs. Back here, if you look at the playoff standings with these two teams, they're both Division II, but they're in different regions. Wadsworth is number 1 in Region 6, which is basically Toledo schools. Green is ranked number 6 in Northeast Ohio schools, Cleveland, Youngstown, Akron, and things like that. And you'd have to say the winner of this game almost has a lock on going to the playoffs. So what's on the line, first of all, along with Copley, the winner of this game is going to be co-favorites to win the Suburban, and also almost assured of going to the playoffs. So there's a lot of motivation here tonight.
Oh yeah, a lot of football left. Grizzlies, they just need to get back down, settle into a nice drive, eat up some clock, get back in deep for the Grizzlies. Ben Osterland's going to take this one. Ben takes it right up the middle. Gets hit pretty hard about the 22-yard line. Looked like Ben hit a wall there. Stood him straight up. 16-yard return. The Grizzlies will go back on offense.
I think the Green special teams did a real good job of getting down there, because it looked like Wadsworth had the wedge out in front of Osterland, but the wedge just didn't seem to knock anybody out of the way. So let's see what Wadsworth can come out now. They're trailing 7-0. This is nothing new. They've trailed in the first couple games they played at Barberton. And
tell you what, Green's got a big boy, number 58, that anchors the center of that defense, Larry. 6'3", 230 pounds. Playing middle linebacker. Tacomie takes the ball, gains about 5 yards. Bring up 2nd down and 5. We have 5:53 here left, first quarter. Ball's on the 29-yard line. Ben Osterland's going to split right, so does Adam Copeland. Brink on the left end. Moeller and Tacomie in the backfield. Hoover under center. Snaps, fakes. Tries to get it to Brink. Brink comes up with the
catch.
I thought that time, Larry, they were going to get an interference call. Looked like a lot of shoving and pushing on the way down that field.
They're calling the ball incomplete. I'm surprised at that.
Yeah, I went through his hand at the end.
If you watch Hoover is hit in the backfield, and he's being hung on to by one leg when he throws the ball, still manages to get enough oomph on the ball to get it down to Brink. And I thought Brink made a circus catch there, but I guess the ball just went through his hands. Yeah, there it is, laying on.
Tell you what, though, there was a lot of contact down the field. Looked like there could have been a little interference before that all happened.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised at that one, but 3rd and 5 for
Booges on the right side. Does a slant in. Oh, got to be interference that time, and no call again.
Well, I don't know what to say. It was either interference or perfect timing by number 6. Yeah. Let's watch on the replay. Here comes the ball out. Let's see, is there contact before the ball?
Yeah.
Ooh, that's awful tight to call. Awful tight. I guess the referees decided that was a good hit. So the Wadsworth Grizzlies are going to have to punt the ball away once again.
Deep to punt, Tony Moeller.
Last time he just squibbed the ball for a 20-yard kick. I'm sure he's going to hit it a little better this time.
Yeah, Drew Doak is up shorter this time for Green. He's not very far back. Takes the ball, 30-yard putt.
And about a 2-yard return.
So Green's going to go back on the offense. They're going to start at about the 47-yard line, maybe the 48. They got the ball. They have a 7-0 lead. We have 5:14 to play first quarter on just about a perfect night for football.
Well, I think this is going to be, right now, testing time for the Wadsworth Grizzlies. The defense has to stop now. If Green marches down the field and scores again, it could be a very long night. Wadsworth defense has got to show that they can stop this team, stop them right here, right now.
Grizzlies come back with their usual start. Hannah's playing safety, McElvain right side.
That's going to be it's motion penalty against Green. Half the line jumped before. Well, it looked like the quarterback was given a hard snap count trying to draw Wadsworth offside, and the Green line bid on it is what happened, because there were several players that jumped. So there you go, motion penalty on Green, and that brings them back 1st and 15.
Brink's going to check into the defensive line for the Grizzlies. He replaces number 76, Doug Ferrigo. Yeah, first down, 15.
And Wadsworth, I'm looking at their defensive secondary, and they've got their regular people in it, the same ones that started last week. So they tried that just for the first series of plays, and that was it.
Ryan Gibson under center, I formation. Here comes left side counter play inside to number 24, Drew Doak.
Great play by Jake McElvain, because if he had busted McElvain's tackle, he could still be running. You can see it's like a fake pitch and then a handoff back there. There's the fake pitch.
There's a counter
the
handoff.
Yep. Brink is blocked, and there's McElvain right there hanging on by an ankle till Pat McCarthy could come up and help. But McElvain, great play, and it looks like that ankle is just bothering him too bad. So that brings up a 2nd down, 13.
Again, that's the first time Greens ran almost solely to that right side of their offense. That time they tried to counter left. They're in the I formation, receivers both sides. Gibson set to go. Handoff, left side, Truman. Truman breaks out outside. Hannah's going to have to make the play. It's not good if your safety's making a lot of tackles. That means they're getting out. The corners that time didn't have any containment that time.
The corners bid on the inside move, and he just cuts it outside, and there's nobody there. So the Wadsworth corners, what they're going to have to do, you see him running by McCarthy there, and finally Hannah comes over here and makes the tackle. The Wadsworth corners are going to have to play out just side, just a little bit more. They can't bite on that inside move, because that's what they scored the touchdown. He's already got 119 yards rushing.
Come up this time, they got receivers both ways. We've got motion by Truman this time. Fakes a pass, and he gets nailed in the background. Brink again. That play was designed to be a quick release. Gibson tried to get it right back over to the tight end.
Watch Brink fight off the blocker, and nice move by Chris Brink. So that's the 2nd down, and it's going to be about 14 for Green. We've got 3:23 to go in the 1st quarter.
Brink, 2 sacks, coming in to play some defense. Grizzlies got Green, 2nd down, 15. Gibson, again, we have receivers left to right. We're in the I formation. Gibson, handoff, Truman. Truman's going to go. That time, McElvain did a nice job.
And the ball still loose.
And Green's going to come up with it, but they're going to lose about 9 yards. It's going to set up 3rd down and a bunch.
So 2 Wadsworth players had a shot on the ball. If you watch this time the Wadsworth defense didn't let them turn the corner. It was playing further outside. If we have this on replay.
Yeah, Jake McElvain did a great job stringing this out this time. Got a hand on the ball.
Yeah, I guess we don't have it on replay, but that's the kind of stuff that Wadsworth is going to have to do if they're going to win this game. So that's going to bring up 3rd and 21. They're all the way back on their own 44. And I've been watching the Wadsworth defense. They've basically been playing the run. They've been playing uptight. They've got a lot of guys in the box around the line of scrimmage. They're loosened up a little bit now on this obvious passing down.
Gibson going to roll out left side. They got a holding call, and again, the Brink again. Yeah, Chris Brink, 3rd sack. And we had a holding call, too.
Well, they'll decline the holding.
Oh, yeah.
There are flags all over the field on that. I didn't see the hold, but boy, all the referees.
I did. They almost tackled, I think it was Delnos that was coming in. And Delnos dropped to the ground. So they're going to decline that. You're going to set up 4th down and about 23 yards. Green's going to have to punt. So with 2:06 to go here, Grizzlies are going to send Joey Chacomie and Ben Bugis deep. Nice defensive stand that time. Green helped a little bit with some blunders of their own.
Well, you're right, and the Wadsworth defense needed that. If there's a wrap on Green, they tend to shoot themselves in the foot. They've turned the ball over lots this year. They've had critical penalties called on them, and that is to Wadsworth's advantage. A very high punt. Oh, is that high?
Beautiful punt. Tracomie. 36-yard punt. Tracomie with about a 2-yard return.
Wadsworth gets the ball on the 10-yard line. I'll tell you, they haven't been starting out in very good field position. This punt is so high that there's plenty of time for the coverage team to get down there, and there's just no place for Tracomie to go.
So, saying something, Larry, about the rating that they were giving Mike Hoover. You know, Mike is a great quarterback, but he has got such a core of receivers that you got to have people to catch that ball too. And Copeland's got good hands. You got Brink that's got perfect size for an end. That's got great hands. Booges, Osterlin. I mean, you got so many weapons.
Yeah, they make him look good when he's not really sharp.
Tracomie tries to find a spot to go. There is nowhere, and Tracomie's probably going to lose.
No, I think they're going to give him a pickup of about a yard. No, they're marking it for no gain.
Yeah, he lost about 6 inches. Osterlin's going to check in. Grizzlies set to go again. They need to make something happen and turn around this negative field position they've been in most of the first quarter.
Well, you know, they've moved the ball out. I mean, they've got it down to the the green territory, 30-yard line, but they've always been starting out inside their own 20.
Grizzlies send Copeland and Osterlin. Copeland's wide open in the middle. Got it. Adam Copeland comes up with a big catch.
Gonna be about 40-yard pass, and that ball was in the air for 40 yards. Copeland came wide open, was beautifully led by 39-yard punt. Watch this. There's the fake, and there's pressure on Hoover. He has to step up in the pocket, and he just cuts loose with this one. Watch Copeland.
Did a great job, though. Mike laid this out right where it had to be. Matter of fact, if Adam could have kept it, caught it with a little bit more stride, he might have went all the way.
Well, that brings him out of a hole real quick. Let's see if they can keep this one going now.
Pitch out, Tracomie, short side of the field. Tracomie's going to gain about 3. Quick hitter that time. They went to the short side of the field.
Well, as much as they're trying to run the ball, that is Wadsworth, you got to face it. I mean, the gains have come on the passes, and I don't know if they're running the ball because they want to control the clock or just to keep the green defense honest. But you know, Tracomie can bust at any time. This will be the last play of the first quarter.
6 seconds, yep, and counting. Hoover under center, I formation for the Grizzlies. Hoover back, Copeland on a turnaround. Copeland gets loose. Copeland down to the 20. Adam Copeland's going to go off the blue. Nice move. Oh no, got stopped about the 2-yard line. Adam Copeland made a great move at about 26.
That's a 46-yard pass play, and that was one where it was a 9-yard pass and about 40 or 6-yard pass and 40 yards of Copeland. Beautiful run, and that's the end of the first quarter. But Wadsworth has excellent field position. They've got the ball on about the 2-yard line, 1st and 10.
Yeah, that was all Grizzlies. All Copeland that time. Hoover did a nice job getting to him on the turnaround. Look at this move right here. Copeland cuts right back.
Okay, we got some stats for you for the first quarter. As far as Wadsworth is concerned, Mike Hoover, 4 completions out of 7 attempts for 130 yards. Surprisingly enough, though, with all that yardage, no touchdown. As far as receivers go, Chris Brink has 1 catch for 43 yards. Copeland has 2 catches for 85 yards. Joe Tracomie has been rushing. He's run the ball 4 times for a total of 12 yards. They've had 2 first downs, both of them passing. As far as Green is concerned, Ryan Gibson has 2 attempts, no completions. He's rushed 3 times for -10 yards. But Garrett Truman is the big one. He's rushed the ball 7 times for an amazing 110 yards.
A lot of that came on that, what was it, a 60-yard scan, or 70
yards, yeah. But Wadsworth is in position now to not take control of this game, at least move back into it.
Hoover's under center. He's got Moeller and Tracomie in the backfield. Now they move up, full house, power I. Hoover, handoff, up the middle.
No,
he's going across
to the outside touchdown. Fool me too.
I thought that was going up over guard, and Tracomie took the inside handoff.
And there was nobody there.
He took the inside handoff outside.
Here's the fake that fooled us right here. Oh, he's going right up the middle. Beautiful fake. And Tracomie kind of waltzes into the end zone. You could see that Hoover was already signaling touchdown as soon as he handed the ball off. And Sam Galpert's going to try the extra point. He's been amazing this year in extra points. I think he's only missed one. I think he's 18 for 19 in extra points, and he has 1 for 1 in the field goal department.
Well, Larry, that drive, Galpert's kick up and good. It's 7-7. Is that drive typify the Grizzlies' drives this year?
Yeah,
was that 5 plays?
Yeah, 90 yards in about a minute.
In 5 plays, I think it was.
But, you know, here we go again. Okay, that all looks very well, and we need the points, but now what has to happen is the defense has to come up and make the big stop here again.
I think that offensive drive probably going to pump these guys up a little bit.
I would think so, yeah.
Defense looked good last time. Right now, if you're the coach, and, you know, I've been down on the sideline with the defensive coach. I don't even know how he talks after a game.
Well, you know, I'll tell you one thing about this game. It's going to be different than the last two. When you looked at the Medina game, you look at the Revere game, those games were basically over at halftime. Wadsworth scored a bunch of points and in effect said to Medina, said Revere, okay, we know we can score. You haven't showed us you can. We're not going to do anything until you show us they can, and they couldn't. It's not going to be this way tonight because Green can and will score all over the field, every which way you can imagine. So, I think for the first time in a couple of weeks, we're going to have a 48-minute ball game instead of a 24-minute ball game.
They're fun to watch as long as you come out on top.
They're fun to watch, but they do cause ulcers.
Yeah, Drew Doak, Garrett Truman deep for the Grizzlies.
Galpert back to kick. And you wonder if he's going to kick it out of bounds just to keep it away from these very, very speedy Green return people.
Well, you know, you look at the up man in front of Doak, 63, doesn't look like he's overly fast. I think I'd be hitting that spot on the field, but he doesn't. He goes right to Truman. Truman picks it up, gets through. Yeah, leg tackle that time. Could have saved a touchdown. Wasn't a whole lot of defense back. That was Danny Painter came up with a big tackle, 16 yards on the return.
You know, so many times it happens when a receiving person bobbles the ball, they throw all the timing off, and he almost got loosed. Yep. That was the hit there that saved it for Wadsworth.
Dan Painter came up big hit.
So let's see what the Wadsworth defense can do now. They've got what I'll have to call their first team defense in. I guess we'll call it that. They're going with that since the opening drive. So we'll see what happens with Green now. Remember, they got to contain them inside from the breaking to the outside on those runs.
Gibson, hands off. Truman, left side. Tell you what, right now the Green line is doing a really nice job moving the Grizzlies off the ball. McCarthy, one of the Grizzlies that helped make that tackle, along with Kurkowski.
They gained 5 yards. You watch the sprint draw handoff right there.
I mean, watch the line. The whole line's back. I mean, the line's back 4 yards before contact's initiated. So
yeah, anytime you've got your corners and safeties making tackles, you're in trouble.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good at all. But still, the Wadsworth defense, except for that one big play, has hung in there, and that's what you got to hope they can do the rest of the night.
Again, Gibson set to go. I formation, handoff to the up back. And they grab him, 22. Jesse Tatterson, big gain.
It's going to be about a 25-yard pickup for Tatterson, and that was a surprise. I think that's the first time he's carried the ball tonight.
Well, that's one
21
of those plays,
yards.
21 yards on the play. That's where you're looking for your Truman, and while you're looking for Truman, Tatterson's going off the right side.
I'll tell you, Jeff, one thing. It amazes me how many ways Green can come at you. It's kind of scary. I don't think I'd want to be out there on defense for Wadsworth.
But you know what? Right now, they're coming at you with different weapons, but they're almost one-dimensional. They really haven't had to pass the ball yet.
No, they don't want to. They'd rather run.
That's what Wadsworth's going to have to start putting 8 guys in the line up there and forcing them to get into that passing situation, force those turnovers.
Well, you know, the trouble with that, unlike Revere last week, who was playing with the 14 quarterback, their quarterback can complete the passes. So it isn't like there were times last week when they had like 10 men in the box against Revere. You're not going to be able to do it with this quarterback. I mean, Gibson is just too good to do that. So you can't cheat like they were cheating on Revere.
Fuller that time was a ball carrier. He's a name we haven't called yet. Jake McElvain with the tackle. 2nd down and 4. Gibson set to go. Got receivers both side, I formation. Now we have motion back. Hand off to number 29 again. He's quick and he loses the ball. Gets it back himself. Mark Fuller, last 2 carries that time. Fuller lost the handle, but they're going to get about 5 yards on the on the fumble.
If you watch this, there he goes, and it looks like he's got a lot of room to run, but there's the fumble right there, and then the green lineman
Who stripped the ball? Brink stuck a hand out, stripped the ball away. 3rd down, 3 yards to go. Grizzlies need a big defensive stop here. 9:33 to play first half.
Well, remember I said before, one of the raps on green is they shoot themselves in the foot with turnovers and penalties, and they've had 2 fumbles already. They were just fortunate to get a boat back.
That's true. I formation again. Tatterson is the up back, and we're going to have a delay of the game call.
Unless a Wadsworth lineman lined up offside.
No, the back judge had already
delay game right there. It is. Well, that's a nice one because it brings up 3rd and 7 instead of 3rd and 2. It's the second penalty on green. There was a holding penalty that was declined. The other 2 have been 5-yarders, one for motion and this one for delay.
You talk about shooting yourself in the foot. You go from 3rd down and a long 2 to 3rd and 8.
So this is going to make it a little bit easier for the Wadsworth Grizzlies defense.
Truman and Tatterson in the backfield. Receivers split wide right and left. Gibson back to pass. Got it. Complete. Nice turn-in pattern ran that time by Paul Cronin. Cronin actually went down to about the 35-yard line, turned back up towards the quarterback, caught it about the 38.
Beautiful pass. And you can see the Wadsworth defender, it was Steve Robertson, was just a step too late. And like I was saying before, that this is the difference between this team and Revere. On 3rd and 8, they can pass and complete the first down. Revere, it just wasn't going to happen.
That time, Wadsworth had 2 defenders, both in the vicinity.
Well, it was pretty good coverage. It was just a very nice pass route and also a perfect throw. Right against the sideline, came down 1 foot in bounds or 2, and that was it. So 1st and 10, green on about the 38-yard line. 39 Gibson. They mark it.
Handoff, up back, right through, number 22, up the middle. And Jesse Tatterson, that's the 2nd time he's got big holes, big openings on a first through right over the left guard. Matt Delno's a little bit slow getting up for the Grizzlies. Chris Brink coming off a little gingerly too. 23 yards.
23-yard pickup. Matt doesn't look like he's hurt too bad.
Brink turns around, goes back in. Maybe he wasn't walking gingerly, just getting a little advice in the sideline.
Well, they're going to miss Delnos if he doesn't get back in there pretty soon. Let's see what happens with him. They're talking to him over on the sideline. I can't see what they're doing. So Green has the ball on the 16. Another big threat here.
Again, Gibson, this time.
Fumble.
We got a fumble again, 3rd fumble, and it came right back to the Green player again. Garrett Truman either didn't get the handoff or lost the handle. Let's see what happened here.
There's kind of the handoff. He never got the ball.
Well, I'll tell you what, the ball's going the right way that time. Bounced right back up in Truman's hands.
You're not going to be lucky all night. That's the 3rd time that I think all 3 times that Truman has fumbled the ball, and all 3 times they've managed to recover it. But they lost 2, so it's going to bring up a second. Well, they call a loss of 1. 2nd 11 on the 17.
High formation, Tatterson and Truman in the backfield. Tatterson goes in motion. Handoff over the left side to Truman. Tripped up. Looks like Jake McIlvain and Steve Robertson.
Jake Wilhite was over there too.
Yeah.
And that's what they did that they didn't do before. They managed to contain him. He didn't get outside that time. Now, he picked up some yards. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5, but he didn't bust outside for the touchdown. So it's going to be, they're calling 3rd and 4 on the 10-yard line.
Could be the biggest play in the first half for the Grizzlies.
I agree.
Tatterson, Truman in the backfield. Receivers right and left. Gibson under center, getting ready to call the play. He does. Handoff to the right side. Truman. And he's going to be real close to the first down.
It depends on the spot there.
That was the little delay counter that time. They went off the fake left guard and to Tatterson and handed the right side to Truman.
Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Managed to get it down to about the 6.
They got timeout for a measurement here. Delnos hustles back into the game for the Grizzlies.
And, you know, Brink is walking a little strange unless he always walks that way. I didn't like the way he came out.
I think he had, when he got up a couple plays ago, it looked like he either maybe, pulled a little ankle or had a little, he could even just have a little cramp or something.
They're going to be short by about an inch or 2 inches.
Yeah, that's, well, I got to believe with the offense, it's averaging 34 points a game. This is a no-brainer, I think, Larry.
I would think so, too. I don't know how good a field goal kicker they've got, but even if they've got the best in the world, I still think that you would go for it down here.
Oh, yeah. Well, their kicker on the kickoffs has been kicking them about 40, 45 yards. But when you got a guy in the backfield that's averaging probably 8, 9 yards a carry, and that's where you got Tatterson and Truman in the backfield.
And even if you don't make it, you got Wadsworth pinned down.
And they give it to Tatterson. He's got it. He's over the 5-yard line or right at the 5. He's going to set up first down and goal. 6:47 to go.
He was hit. When he was hit, he didn't have the first down, but it was just leg driving the whole pile pushing forward that got him the first down.
Tell you one thing, Larry, this is a real impressive drive Green's putting together right now.
Oh, yeah. Well, we've seen a lot of those tonight.
Yeah. This is really impressive.
This is kind of the way I thought it was going to be. I'm surprised there aren't more points on the scoreboard for all the offense that we've had.
Grizzlies need to make something happen here. Tatterson, Truman up front. Ooh, looked like he had motion. There is no call. Truman's going to be stopped maybe for a half-yard gain. Going to set up second and goal.
And I'll tell you, the first half is really winding down. We're down to 6 minutes and 19 seconds. And they're basically saying no gain on that play, so it's going to bring up second and goal from the 5. You know, something else that wouldn't surprise me, somewhere along the line, one of these two teams, when they scored, didn't go for 2 points. They've got so much offense.
Again, Gibson ready to go. Tatterson, Truman in the backfield this time. Up, handoff to Tatterson. Wasn't pulled that time.
That was a very good play. Yeah, Matt Delnos was in there just about when the handoff got there. So I don't think they're going to try that again. It's going to be third and goal on about the 5-yard line. They've given nothing in 2 tries.
Here the thing is, though, Larry, when you got as many weapons and you've done many things, you really still, it's a guessing game. They're going to pass, they're going to run, or they're averaging. Don't know the stats exactly, but they have to be averaging somewhere around 5 to 6 yards a gain.
But one of the problems, of course, is when you get down there, the field shrinks dramatically, and you can bring everybody up. So I would look for Green to pass on this play. I don't think they're going to try to run it.
Gibson, same 2 backs in the backfield, getting ready to go. And they hand off to Truman, and he breaks over the left side.
He broke about 3 tackles to get in there because he was stopped at the line of scrimmage, but just managed to fight off some Wadsworth defenders and get in for a 5-yard. I'm kind of surprised they didn't pass on that play, but it worked. I'll
tell you what, I thought you had 2 guys. Tatterson got the fake to the right side. He got nailed, if we get a replay, coming over the right side. And it looked like they had Truman in the backfield.
But there were so many almost on that.
And all of a sudden he's campered in. 13-7. Whitlock kicks the extra point. It's good. Green on top, 14-7.
Not only was the extra point good, but he kicked it out of the stadium. Got some stats for you here now. Take a look. Ryan Gibson, 1 pass for 6 yards. Truman Garrett, he's carried the ball 13 times, 130 yards and 2 touchdowns.
That's 10 yards a carry.
And Jess Tatterson, the fullback, 5 carries for 47 yards. They've had a total of 7 first downs, 6 rushing and 1 penalty, 1 passing, 2 penalties for 10 yards. On the Wadsworth side, not much has changed, of course. Mike Hoover, 7 for 4, 128 yards. And then Joe Chacomie, 5 attempts, 15 yards, but he does have the touchdown. Chris Brink has 43 yards from receptions, and Copeland has 85. Wadsworth has 3 first downs, all by passing. So Wadsworth is going to get the ball.
And it's not real hard to determine what the Grizzlies have to do here. You got one running back averaging 10 yards a carry. The other one's averaging 9. You're going to have to shut down the run.
Well, I think right now what Wadsworth wants to do is score and make the game even, going in the half 14-14. And that's one of those deals. I don't think either side will be satisfied with 14-14, but it could be worse on both sides. So Wadsworth has got 5 minutes to get the ball down the field. Knowing this Wadsworth offense, that's plenty of time. They have all 3 timeouts also to work with.
Yeah, if they use that much time, it'd probably be their longest drive of the season as far as time-wise. So
Osterlin and Chacomie are back. back to receive, and it's going to be Joe Tricome.
Yeah,
nice kick.
Yep, Wellock, he does have a leg. Tricome brings the ball up. He gets met at about the 20-yard line, maybe 21.
That was like about a 55-yard punt and about a maybe 15-yard return. I don't know how these Green defenders are getting past the wall. I mean, the wall's like out in front with nobody to block, and all these Green kids are around the ball carrier.
Came around the outside.
It was a 17-yard return, actually.
So the wedge set up in the middle at about the 20-yard line, and the Green defenders were on the outside.
What it might be, the wedge was set up so far out because the kick was so deep, didn't work.
Handoff, Tony Moeller. Moeller gets over the left side, carrying some Green defenders with him. Moeller, nice carry that time, gets the ball up to the 36-yard line. 16 yards on the carry for Tony Moeller.
It isn't often that Wadsworth runs with their up back, but when they do, it's pretty effective. The up back in the Wadsworth offense is usually used as a blocking back. But so when they give it to Moeller and he hits that hole quick, there's a lot of surprise.
It might be a little bit of the game plan of the coaches here with 4 minutes to go. Try to burn a little bit of this clock and get the score back to even. Don't give Green a chance to score. Hoover set to go, handoff, no fake. Goes down the middle to Chris Brink, wide open, there it goes. There's no flags down. Chris Brink's going all the way in for a touchdown. Well, that drive, Larry, that time lasted 41 seconds.
Yeah, that was long. I don't know. Well, they had to run that one running play, and they took 2 whole plays to do it.
41 seconds.
2 plays, 41 seconds.
And the Grizzlies are back. Well, they're an extra point away from being back to 14-all.
Yeah, but here we go. That's good news and bad news.
Green's going to get the ball back.
That's right, and they're going to get the ball back with enough time for them to score, too. So, though it's nice to score the points, the pressure goes right back on the Wadsworth defense.
Well, you know, the nice thing about it is, though, if you're sitting over here as a Wadsworth player and fan, kick is good.
I mean, he got under that one like a kind of a weak wedge, and I thought, is that going to make it over? But it did. So, Sam, I apologize. I should trust you.
The only thing we got to worry about is our offense getting a little bit, the Green drives are taking 4 or 5 minutes. Ours are taking 40 seconds. So we don't want to get the offense a little rusty here. Now, maybe one of these Green fumbles will come back to haunt him here.
Well, this game is going pretty much like I thought it was going to, and I'm sure you too.
Oh, yeah.
But, here we are almost a half into this, and what we said at the beginning still holds. The Wadsworth defense has got to find a way to stop Green. The
only thing that's not going to script that I thought would happen is Green's running over the Grizzlies a little bit easier than I thought. I didn't expect them to have 200 yards rushing in the first half and no yards passing. What do they have total yards passing?
I don't have that stat, but no, this is us. Here, Wadsworth is 5 out of 8. Mike Hoover for 192 yards and a touchdown. And Chris Brink has caught three passes for 107 yards and a TD. He has 107. Copeland is 85. So there's your 192 yards. Truly impressive statistics.
And that's just about what Green's doing to us in the rushing department now.
Right,
so
yeah.
It's going to be which team can stop the other weapons. And the Grizzlies, I think, are going to have to make a couple little changes and put some single coverage in the secondary and shut the run down. Deep for the Green. Right now, we've try to get you some numbers here. I know number 24 back there, Drew Doak. That's who's got the ball. Saw a couple Grizzly numbers in there. Greg Dent, Jake Wilhite.
And he brings it out to, I think they're going to mark it on the 25-yard line. The kid basically pinned him down against the sideline. He didn't have anywhere to go, and you could see the Wadsworth Grizzlies swarming all over that. I'll tell you want something nice to happen for Wadsworth. A turnover right now would be beautiful.
Yes, it would.
They've had 3 fumbles, Green has. They've got them all. A fumble here. Now remember, Wadsworth will receive the kickoff in the second half. But a fumble here, a turnover would be very big for the Grizzlies.
Gibson set to go. Green, I formation. Tatterson. And Truman. Truman, the ball carrier.
Looks like he got about 5 on the carry.
Yeah, he did. Every play, well, like I said, Truman's averaging 10 yards a rush right now, so.
Well, I don't think as much as that was Truman. That was just line search on the part of Green, and he just keeps the legs churning and like pushing against the back of his lineman in front of him. They're only going to give him 3. But again, it was line search that got that. Yeah,
you got the line pushing us back about 4 yards, and then Truman gets another couple after he hits the line.
Evan Gosser came out.
Tatterson, Truman again, I formation. This time Tatterson at the line of scrimmage. Nice play that time. Ian Formaz.
Yep, Formaz was in on that one. And I'll tell you, as the game goes on, you see the center of the Wadsworth line starting to stiffen up a bit. They're not letting them through on those quick hitters. So here's an interesting call. It's going to be 3rd down and 5 from your own 30-yard line, roughly, let's say. You know they can pass. You know they can run outside. You know they can run inside. It's going to be interesting to see what the Green coaches call.
And you know they don't want to give up the ball. Green set to go. Gibson. Handoff up front. Truman isn't going to make it. Jake Wilhite, Matt Delnose, Kurkowski on the stop.
And the Wadsworth coaches are calling for a timeout. And they've stopped the clock with 2:46 to go. They're anticipating the punt, and Coach Dennison wants to get the ball back with time to do things. There again, they tried to center the offensive Wadsworth defensive line, and they're starting to play pretty well in there. So Wadsworth is going to get the ball back. In all probability, they'll get it back in halfway decent field position, and they'll get it back with 2:46 to go, which is time enough to score, what, maybe 5, 6 touchdowns?
Yeah,
something like that.
They got time for 4 good drives.
Yeah, right.
Back, Ben Vujis, Joe Jacome.
You know, a 4th down and 1 or 2 here, I don't think Green would go for it. That would be a real surprise. You know, they probably have a good shot of making it, catch Wadsworth off. But I don't think at this stage of the game you would try something like that. Though it might be a pretty good call.
I wouldn't think so. Tatterson the punt. Like I said, Tricome, Ben Vujis deep for the Grizzlies. I'll tell you what, Grizzlies have their linebackers.
Right, they're watching this.
Up.
Yeah, they're almost in a run defense formation with a couple of punt returners back.
Matter of fact, I think the game plan was let them kick it. Vujis gets it on the 35-yard line over the right side. Vujis, nice return, taken out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Grizzlies are going to set up shop in Greenfield territory.
Well, I'll tell you right now, a lot of frustration in the first half.
28-yard return by Vujis.
A lot of frustration by Wadsworth. The first half could be erased right now. If they could march this ball down and poke it in and go up by 7 with the first half ending, that would be a huge psychological lift for Wadsworth.
Well, it would have to be a little demoralizing for Green, too, who's got to be real happy up to this point with their performance. Hoover, back to pass, going to go for Ben Vujis, got it!
And that was pass interference all over the place. He was being bumped all the way down.
I'll tell you something, Larry. You watch this play, and Hoover's a good quarterback. This is a great catch, too.
Yeah, we said before, Wadsworth has receivers that makes your quarterback look good.
Ben Vujis did a great job.
He was being bumped on the way down. Why they didn't throw a flag was beyond me, but he still had presence of mind to catch the ball. He's over 200 yards passing. Hoover is. It's got to be like 230 yards passing in the first quarter.
Mike's definitely been on the money. We got Osterlin and Copeland split right. The Grizzlies are in the I formation. Hoover's going to go out right side, going to try to get Copeland's. Got it, touchdown. Well, Larry, we're getting it down. That was a 32-second drive.
Yeah, they're finally starting to play well. But here we go again. You know, you love to have the points on the board as you watch this. And Copeland just runs a beautiful route. He's right in front of the defender. Hoover lays it in a perfect spot, right in stride, touchdown. But you're giving the Green the ball back, and they've got 2 minutes and 9 seconds to do something with it. So it's a good news, bad news type of thing.
Grizzlies got the ball with 2:41 to go in the half, and it's 2:09, 32 seconds later.
Another extra
point's good. Galpert is 3 for 3.
Let's see what the stats look like now. Hoover, 7 for 16, 235 yards and 2 TDs. Vujis, 1 catch, 32 yards. Copeland, 2 catches, 96 yards in the touchdown. Brink, 3 catches, 107 in the touchdown. As far as rushing, Wadsworth only has 31 yards rushing on 6 attempts, and 16 of those came on this drive where Tony Moeller, or the last drive where he ran the ball for that 16 yards. So Green's going to get the ball back with 2 minutes and 9 seconds to go, and who knows? I mean, there could be another 2 touchdowns scored here.
It's really amazing. Like I said, you look at this game so far, and Green has to be happy with the way things went up to that last 30 seconds, but they did what they wanted. They used a lot of time. They scored the points. They kept Grizzlies behind, and then all of a sudden, boom, you're trailing by 7.
Well, what'd we say? What would be the ideal thing? Turnover here. Well, we didn't have the turnover. We had a really nice punt run back, and then the rest of it was Mike Hoover and his receivers.
Well, we had 2 nice plays by Ben Vujis on the punt return, and then on the nice reception, nice pass by Mike Hoover, and then Adam Copeland with a big touchdown pass. Again, Copeland wide open, and Hoover put the ball where it had to be. 2:09 to play, first half, 21-14. I'm still looking for Sky Fox to come land down here. I don't know where they'd land that big helicopter.
I'm not surprised that was a squib kick.
No, I'm not either.
But
up front man gets it. Grizzlies got him.
On about the 33. So Green will take over 1st and 10 on the 33 with a little over 2 minutes left
Dan
to play.
Painter again, nice job. That's the second big tackle he's had on the kickoffs.
One thing, Green, I believe, has all 3 of their timeouts. So the way they move the ball, 2 minutes and 4 seconds and 3 timeouts, this is almost a 2-minute drill in the pros.
I think you're going to start seeing a little bit more passing too. They're in the I formation, and here it comes. Inside, nice pass, 24 is loose. Drew Doak. And if you do that, Green picks up about 20 yards, 23 yards in the play.
This is a very nice pass. He came open underneath the coverage, and what happened, Wadsworth defenders ran into each other trying to make the tackle, like boom, right there, and almost busted it for the tackle. Green doesn't call a timeout. They're going 1st and 10 on the Wadsworth 47.
Again, Gibson set to go, over the middle, picked off. Greg Dent did a nice job stepping back, doing what a linebacker's supposed to do.
What a great play by Greg Dent. He was playing center field back there as a linebacker, just got back into the coverage, and I'll tell you the problem was that the quarterback, Ryan Gibson, telegraphed the throw. He was going right down over the middle. And I think what happened was Dent just basically read his eyes, stepped in front of the receiver, and made the catch. But that ball never should have been thrown. There were way too many Wadsworth defenders back in the middle of the field. Well, they got 1:38. That's probably only time for 3 touchdowns. But
yeah, Dent that time did a nice job. They were in a zone defense, and he stopped back, and Gibson stayed right in the center of the field.
You know, he ran well with the ball after he got it. That was like about a 12-yard run back.
Greg was the fullback for, matter of fact, all his years coming up. He still runs a little bit fullback for the Grizzlies now.
He ran like a fullback. He didn't try to run around anybody, plowed right through him.
No, he's a tough kid. He likes to, he's not afraid of the contact, guarantee it.
1st and 10 on the 48 of Wadsworth, 1:38 to go.
Grizzlies back, Hoover going to spread it out, going to try to score again. This time over the middle. Oh, his first interception. So Green and Wadsworth trade interception. Somebody needs to knock him down. They got a wall going. Drew Doak. So Mike Hoover gets bit with his first interception of the season, and Green takes it down to the 36-yard line.
You know, that wasn't a bad pass. That was just a great interception. He's looking downfield, got a lot of steam on the ball, but this is a fine interception by the by the defending back, who stepped right in front of the Wadsworth receiver.
He stepped in front of Brink. That, I'm sure Mike wanted that a little bit higher for Brink to go up and get.
So that's unfortunate, but they trade interceptions. Now Green has the ball, 1st and 10, 1:24 to go.
And that pass is going to go incomplete. Gibson threw about a 12-yard pass, about 11 yards.
And the receiver had fallen down on the play.
John Fuller, yeah, what could have been a real big motivator for the Grizzlies. They could have broke the back of Green there going in there, and now Green's got a chance to come back and grab some momentum here going into this.
Well, like I said, this is going to be a 48-minute football game. I don't think either team's going to pull.
1:19 to play. Gibson set. Green I formation, and this time inside draw to Truman. That time Jake McIlvain comes up, meets him about 6 yards deep into the Grizzlies secondary.
It looked like that play was going to go big, but as a matter of fact, it didn't.
It was a good open field tackle by McIlvain. There wasn't a whole lot of help around Jake.
The clock is stopped on the play, and the clock should be running because it was a running play.
Well, the other thing with the officials are keeping the clock on the field too. So if they're trying to help them a little bit at the hometown, it doesn't matter.
No, but it is annoying.
Yeah, it is. Well,
of course, the clock operator might have assumed that Green was going to call a timeout. They've got 3 timeouts, and it would have been obvious to.
Did you notice about 2,000 Grizzly fans noticed that clock wasn't moving?
Right.
And it still isn't moving. They're going to reset it right now.
The referee is over at the sideline, and he's, I don't know if you can see him on your screen, he's pointing up to the...
I think he said take it to minute 10. I think he wants the clock to go to, there it goes, it's going down now.
They're counting down.
He held 14. Up 2 hands, I thought, so I thought he wanted to take it to minute 10.
You know, too many times I think we criticize referees. Now that was a very heads up on the part of the refs. They knew the right time, they knew the scoreboard clock wasn't running. So it still works to Green advantage because they managed to get up to the line of scrimmage. Now the clock starts to run. Okay, and it is running.
Tatterson, Truman in the backfield, up hand off to Tatterson. Tatterson's going to get close to the first down. This time the refs do blow the ball dead.
So they're calling timeout with exactly a minute to go.
I don't think they've called it. They're just...
Oh, that's just a timeout to unsort the pile and set the ball. And
they're going to give them a first down, so they're going to stop the clock while they move the chains. 1 minute straight up to go. Gibson under center, I formation again. This time Gibson rolls out left. Long pass to the corner. Nice job.
Good job by Jake McElvain.
Good.
You know, I was afraid that Jake was going to get interference called on him because he kind of bit on the up fake, and then when the receiver went deep, he was just sprinting with his back to the ball, and sometimes they can call interference on that. But if you watch, Jake turns around just in time right there to go for the ball and knock him out of balls. That was a great defensive play by Jake McElvain.
Gibson again, I formation for Green. Gibson rolls out left over the middle. Behind the receiver, great catch. Absolutely a beautiful catch by Drew Doak that time. The ball was behind him. Reached back, one hand, made the catch.
I couldn't believe he made this catch.
Yeah, what a catch.
I don't know how we're going to see it right there. He does like a one-handed catch and a 180 to make the catch. So the clock is now running, 42 seconds to go. Green's on the 16-yard line.
Draw play this time, Truman. Truman tries to get around the corner.
Too many Grizzlies, and Green calls timeout. So they're calling timeout.
McCarthy came up, put the first hit. Greg Dent finished him.
No, they're not calling timeout.
I don't know what they're thinking is here with 3 timeouts.
And the clock is running, 22, 21 seconds.
What is your thinking?
I have no clue.
We see something we don't know.
Unless they took 3 timeouts that I didn't, and now they call timeout.
Why would you let the clock run? Oh, well.
Well, they lost, maybe 15, 16 seconds off in a situation like this. That's 4 plays.
Could that be what shooting you in the foot?
Those are the kinds of things that we're talking about.
Yeah, because right now you got time for, now they've limited themselves. You know, if you run the ball, you may not get another playoff. You got a couple pass plays you could put in the end zone right now.
Well, optimistically, Green now has 3 shots at it. Pessimistically, 2. It's 2nd and 5 on the 13, but they could have picked up a first down and got 4 more yards, but that 15 seconds off the clock, in games this big, this close, and in these kinds of situations, you just can't do that kind of thing.
Now with what stake is at stake here tonight, Wadsworth Band getting ready to perform for the halftime, filing out on the field behind the Grizzlies.
So when they sort everything out, it's going to be, as I said, 2nd and 5 on the 13 with 13 seconds to go.
Ryan Gibson's going to bring the Green Bulldogs up the line. Tatterson, Truman in the backfield, receiver split right. Paul Cronin, John Fuller. Gibson's going to pass. He's got Fuller over the middle, and it's intercepted.
They got a flag. I think that's going to be a holding call on Green, believe it or not.
Well, the flag came in before the interception, so I don't know. It's going to be against the Grizzlies. Yeah, it's going to be against the Grizzlies. They're going to call a hold on the Grizzlies. The flag came in before the interception, and that time it's lucky that Ryan Gibson, he had Paul Cronin wide open.
Call here. You can't have pass interference on a tip ball. That's what some of the Grizzly players are saying. So if they call pass interference, it doesn't work. A holding penalty, of course, you can have any time.
They're asking to see if the ball was tipped.
If it was a tip ball, it'll be Wadsworth ball with 2 seconds. Well, there's going to be 2 seconds to go no matter what.
Well, I think what he's saying, what the one ref is saying is that the guy that the ball was intended for was knocked off before the tip. Do we have a replay? If we have a replay, maybe we could. Okay.
Okay. So they're trying to sort it out. Let's see what they got. The referees are.
Yeah,
it's they called pass interference on Wadsworth. Well, Wadsworth fans don't like it.
You had Fuller. John Fuller was coming around the back, and Fuller got bumped. They said before the pass, but I thought the pass was over his head. So
look, here comes the pass. Let's take a look. The ball comes down. There's the tip.
Yeah, they're saying, see, it wasn't Fuller, and they're saying that he was hit before the ball, but there was a tip.
No, I'm sorry. I don't agree with that call.
No, I don't either. But that's what they called. They're saying Fuller got knocked off.
Well, we have the benefit of instant replay, but from what I can see up here, the ball was tipped long before the so-called pass interference occurred. That makes it a free ball. Anybody can go for it. But it looks like what's happening now, Green has got their line. It's going to be a first down. That's half the distance.
On the 5. And they're going to call timeout.
And I think they're going to go for a field goal.
Yeah, they're going to have to. Well, Larry, the only reason we get those instant replays is because we have the best camera crew. Other than ESPN, we got to be probably just the best camera crew on cable access TV.
No doubt about that. But it is unfortunate the refs didn't, in my opinion, interpret that one correctly, because that would have been the end. And now Green has a chance to put some points on the board.
I'll tell you what they've done. They spotted the ball on the right hash mark where the foul occurred, and it really put a nice angle on that field goal for the Green kicker, and that's what they're going to try. Not that it'll make a big difference, but Austin Wellick's going to set up, and he's got himself a nice little angle. So the referees might have helped the Bulldogs here a little bit. 2 seconds to go. This will probably be the last play of the half. And we're set. Gibson is the holder. Snaps good, kicks up, kick is wide, it looks. Oh, he made it, came in the right side.
That'll take care of the first half, 21-17, I'm sorry, Wadsworth.
We'll be back with the stats just a little bit here on WCTV. Welcome back to the second half of Green High School for their second half action. Grizzlies on top, 21-17. Both teams took a little bit longer than they were supposed to in the locker rooms. Maybe talking about some defensive ploys here. Larry's got some first half stats. Larry?
Okay, as far as Wadsworth is concerned, once again it's been the Mike Hoover show. He's attempted 11 passes, 7 completions for 235 yards and 2 TDs, but he did throw 1 interception. The rushing for Wadsworth, not much. Tracomie, 5 attempts, 15 yards and a touchdown. Tony Moeller had 1 carry for 16 yards. As far as the receivers were concerned, Chris Brink has 3 catches for 107 yards and a touchdown. Adam Copeland, 2 catches, 96 yards and a touchdown. Vujas, 1 catch for 32 yards. Wadsworth had 1 first down rushing, 4 passing, no penalty, 1 penalty for 7 yards. And incidentally, they had 2 quarterback sacks by Chris Brink, and Sean Dent had a 13-yard interception run back. Greg Dent, I'm sorry. As far as Green is concerned, Ryan Gibson, the quarterback, 3 completions out of 7 attempts for 40 yards, and he had the 1 interception. But the big numbers, Garrett Truman, 17 attempts, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns. Jess Tatterson, 7 attempts for 53 yards. Green had a total of 7 first downs rushing and 3 passing, and they had 1 by penalty. And incidentally, Green fumbled the ball 3 times, but recovered all 3. The second half, Wadsworth will receive the kickoff, and I think you could say this is everything we thought it was going to be, a shootout. The one real optimistic thing I see as far as Wadsworth is concerned is they gave up most of that yardage in the first quarter. Very slowly, but very surely, the defense has been coming together, and so Wadsworth has been doing a better job of stopping Green in the second quarter. And I'll tell you one thing, Jeff, if you want to know good coaching, where it shows up, it's the adjustments you make at the halftime. And I have the utmost respect for this Wadsworth coaching staff. So let's see what happens when they come out, what changes they make to try to stop Green.
Yeah, you're going to have to bring a couple linebackers up to the line of scrimmage. Right now we're getting ready for the second half. Remember, Grizzly football is brought to you by Kovac Realties. They're located at 157 Great Oaks Trail, and they can satisfy all your realty needs. So give them a call at 336-8883. Ready for the second half kickoff. Austin Wellick will be kicking for Green. Deep for the Grizzlies will be Joe Tracomie and Ben Osterlund.
I'll tell you a stat we don't have, but I wish we did, was time of possession. I would be willing to guess that Green had the ball about 80% of the time in the first half. Because Wadsworth had what? They had a 1-minute drive and a 40-second drive.
And a 32-second
drive. And as nice as it is, as the points are concerned, it just puts the defense back out on the field. So hopefully Wadsworth can engineer some on the ground. Yeah, because they haven't rushed the ball but for 30 yards. Try to get some more ball control.
We're set to go, and here we go. Wellock with the kick, and it's going to go to Joe Tracomie. Tracomie got the ball on about the 5-yard line, finds the wedge this time, breaks through on the right side. 1 man to beat, and it's the kicker, and he's got him at the 47-yard line.
Beautiful run back by Tracomie. And what happened that time? The kick did not hang up, and the wedge was in front of Tracomie where it should be, rather than 20 yards downfield. Now watch this, a line drive kick. He feels it. Watch where the wedge is.
Yeah, he gets the wedge in 7
right
yards.
At the perfect time, just the way it should. And he busts out there, runs into his own man, breaks it to the outside, and brings it back 45 yards. So Wadsworth takes over an excellent field position on the Green 48-yard line, 1st and 10.
Grizzlies come out, I formation. Osterlund, left side, Copeland right, Brink comes across left end, still in the eye, Tracomie, left side, gets about 5 yards. He got drilled after he was down on the ground, and Tracomie's not getting up real quick.
Now watch this, and let's see if it is a leg hit.
Well, he's hit down.
Here we go, and tackled there on the ground. Oh my, you got to throw a flag on that, but the referees didn't. So it's just a...
Tracomie's going to come out. Greg Dent checks in. Vujas checks in. Yeah, Tracomie right now might be wondering where he's at a little bit. He got drilled pretty good when he was on his back, and you're not expecting to get hit. Copeland left side, Vujas right. I formation. Dent is in the running back. Moeller fullback position. Dent's playing halfback. Mike Hoover brings him up the line. We're set to go.
Who's in for Tracomie? I didn't know.
Greg Dent.
Greg Dent? Okay.
Handoff, no. Hoover back. Little quick pass. Moeller can't hang on. I tell you what, Hoover put it right on his hands. Tony had a little bit of trouble with the ball, drops the ball. Going to bring up 3rd down and a long 5.
I was watching further downfield. Chris Brink slipped when he made his cut, but I think Tracomie was going short all the way, once, twice.
Yeah, if you watch that replay, they let him. They let the defensive tackle come through. That was designed to let it like a little quick screen. Again, I formation. Copeland's on the left side. Hoover back, throws across the middle.
Let's see a flag on it. Oh no! Oh my!
He got absolutely drilled.
He was leveled before the ball got there. The referees did not call pass interference. Watch this. If you want a clear example of pass interference, here it is. There's the quick drop. There's the throw. And look, he was hit long before the ball got there.
I'll tell you how bad that was. The Green fans were booing.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a couple of tough breaks for Wadsworth. There were 2 penalty calls there that should have been made that weren't.
Moeller back. 38 seconds on the Grizzly drive that time. Moeller punt goes off the side of his foot, but it stays inbounds. And hits down at the 1-yard line. What a punt. Moeller put that down. It looked like it was going to go out of bounds at about the 15, kicked back into the field of play and went down to the 1 or 2-yard line.
It was a 43-yard punt, and he was angling it out of bounds, but when it hit, it took a crazy little hop inbounds and just trickled down to the 1-yard line. So Green starts, I guess you could say, deep in their own territory. But it's still a little discouraging that the Wadsworth didn't get those calls.
Yeah, well, they came out, like I said, you wanted to get some kind of a drive that took some time. That only lasted 38 seconds. And although that would have kept going if they would have called the interference, or I'm sure Ben would have caught the ball if he wouldn't have been knocked down. Brian Gibson set to go, handoff up the middle.
Gain of about 2.
And so they're going to have 2nd down and about 8. Can't get the number on the ball carrier. I think it was Tatterson it was.
Same thing with the tackle. You couldn't tell who made the tackle. It was the whole center of the Wadsworth line. They just gave him 1 yard on that, I think. So it's going to be 2nd down and 9 from about the 2.
Notice something here again, Larry. Adam Copeland's checked into the secondary now. I don't know who he's replaced.
I think Jake McElvain. I don't see. Is that Jake standing there? Yeah, Jake's in there. So Hannah? No,
Hannah's in there too. Quick pitch this time. Oh, wide open field. Somebody better grab him. Hannah's got a shot. Hannah gets him. Garrett Truman, absolutely nobody on the right side of the Grizzlies defense that time. Hannah did his job as a safety.
Well, the wide receiver took the corner deep, and as you said, there was just nobody over there.
There was nobody there.
So that's about a 23-yard run, brings the ball out to the 25-yard line. And once again, we've been saying it all night, the Wadsworth defense has to step up here, and they got to step up big.
Trying to see who's missed on that defense. McCarthy's in. This time they hand to Tatterson up. First back. Going to gain about 3 yards on the play. 2nd down, 7.
Well, the Wadsworth defense has done well when they tried to run up the middle. It's when they go outside that Wadsworth just doesn't seem to be able to stop them. They are so quick when they run to the outside.
Well, there again, you know, the job of the corners are to make sure they have containment, turn that guy into those big linemen, and we had a little problem doing that at times tonight. Quick pitch this time, Truman. Truman goes through the right side, gets brought down by Jake McElvain. Or actually, Jake Wilhite.
Yeah, Wilhite made the tackle, but not before he picked up 10 yards and another 1st down.
Yeah, right. Look at the hole here again.
It almost looked like that play is designed to go outside, but he saw a little hole on the inside and cut it back in, and then Wilhite, nice tackle to
Jake
stop
did a nice
everything
job.
down. So it's going to be 1st and 10, Green on the 39-yard line. 12-yard pickup on that play.
Again, Ryan Gibson set to go. Tatterson and Truman in the backfield. And I think Green's content. This time Truman gains about 3, maybe 4 on the play.
And Ian Formaz had him in the backfield, but somehow he managed to just struggle out of Ian's grasp and fall forward for 4 yards because the play was essentially stopped at the line of scrimmage. They're marking at 3, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and 7. And, you know, this is the play where Green seems to make all their yardages on 2nd down. 2nd and long, and I don't know if the Wadsworth defense loosens up a little bit or something, or playing a little bit deeper, but they make big gains on second down.
And I don't think Green's showing any signs. They're going to keep running the ball until Wadsworth stops them.
I'm not surprised at that.
Set to go, Ryan Gibson in the I formation now. Tatterson comes in motion. Truman stumbles in the backfield. That time, Truman stopped himself, tripped over quarterback on the handoff.
And I think Wadsworth was kind of lucky he did, because there was a pretty big hole over here. And you watch, and there's the handoff right there. And he just, I think he tripped over the quarterback's foot is what happened. Tripped over the quarterback's foot. So they lost 2, so that's going to bring up a 3rd down and 9.
And they ran virtually the same play off every time Tatterson's went into motion.
Well, it's worked.
Yeah. Well, sooner or later, we got to figure out what they're doing and go with
They stopped themselves as much as Wadsworth to stop them.
Gibson this time, inside draw, inside handoff to Tatterson. Nice play. That's the old play. Gibson actually was about 1.5 feet behind Tatterson, reached around, put the ball in his belly, and nobody was there. Watch the handoff. Reaches around, boom, there he goes.
I am really amazed. It was a 22-yard pickup. How many weapons did this Green offense have? I mean, as soon as you think you're stopping something, you got something figured out, they throw another wrinkle at you. Just like that reverse handoff. I've never seen that. Well, I don't know the last time I saw it in high school football, if I ever did. But Green has got a nice drive going now, and the ball is on the 38-yard line of Wadsworth, and 1st and 10 Green.
Green's doing a nice job with some time-consuming drives here tonight. Gibson set to go again, I formation. Tatterson and Truman, pitch to Truman, left side. Jake McElvain.
Looks like he picked up about 5 on that play.
And let's see who else was there. I think it was Greg Dent, Jake McElvain make the stop, but not until he gets about 6.
So you see the handoff there, and he's well in the backfield before the tackle is made. So 2nd down and 6.
21-17, 3rd quarter, 6:58 to go. We're going to start the I formation again. Receivers wide, right and left. Handoff Tatterson, first back through.
And they stopped him good that time. He only picked up about 1 yard, so that's maybe 2. So it's going to bring up a 3rd down and 2. And I don't know if you can see it on your TV screen or not. There's a little bit of a fog descending over the field right now. And it's particularly noticeable around the huddle where you see the players exhaling. There's moisture coming out. And like right around the Wadsworth and the Green huddle, there's this little fog forming.
From the sweat, yeah. The players are hot.
3rd down and 1. Big play for the Wadsworth defense.
Again, I formation, Gibson set to go. Tatterson or Truman, it's Truman. Truman straight up the gut. I'll tell you what, he just keeps churning those legs, and he picks up about 7 yards.
And something to remember is you watch just a line surge and then the legs turning. The Wadsworth defense has just got to get off the field. They're on there too much, and you can see Delnos riding it down. But it's 195 yards rushing for him. And remember, this drive started on the 1 yard line.
Yeah, they've chewed up about 6 minutes, just under 6 minutes. Gibson set to go again. Same alignment. This time in the backfield. Jake McElvain came up. I'll tell you what, he was lucky too, because that time Garrett Truman got the ball up on his left shoulder and Jake nailed him in the backfield. It's lucky the ball didn't pop out.
So it looks like about a loss of 4. So it'll bring up a 2nd and 14, and that was a fine defensive play by Jake McElvain. But it was a risky play too, because if he had managed to get by Jake, that whole side was open.
Set to go again, I formation. Gibson set to go. This time Truman, left side again. Brought down, this time Kurkowski. Gets in maybe after a gain of 1.
Well, there's 2 nice defensive plays by Wadsworth, and the defense is starting to step up here. So it's going to be a 3rd. They gave him, I think, 1 on the play, so it's going to bring up 3rd and about 13.
3rd down, 13.
But, say again,
throw.
This seems to be where Green is the most dangerous. When they've got 3rd and long, you think, well, we've got these guys stopped this time, but it just doesn't seem to happen.
Here we go. Gibson probably going to have to put this ball in the air. And he's going to long over the middle, wide open, touchdown.
Too easy.
And that was Paul Cronin. And I'll tell you what, the Grizzlies took all the play fake, and the safety, the free safety weren't where they're supposed to be. Got burnt on the long touchdown pass.
Yeah, 26-yard touchdown pass. The play fake there, and look how open Cronin is. A touchdown.
Now that's what'll happen to you though when you get lulled to sleep with that, run, and you come up to play it, and all of a sudden over the top, Green regains a lead. 23-21, chance to make it 24. And they do. So the Green Bulldogs come up with a 7-minute drive, put 7 points on the board. They lead the Grizzlies 24-21.
Well, you watch that whole drive, and Wadsworth would make a couple of big defensive plays, and then Green would somehow find the open man, the right run call. And
I think on that drive particularly, the Grizzlies started playing the run a little bit more and selling out the pass altogether.
Well, they had to. I mean, the way they were marching down the field. So let's see what Wadsworth can do now if they can come back from this deficit. Dropping back for Wadsworth to receive, we have Osterland, and Joe Tracomie's back in after that hit that he took, so I guess he's okay.
Give Hoover credit here, come back in. His arm's got to be getting a little bit froze up. He hasn't seen a whole lot of action here in the second half. 3 plays and out, and then sit on the bench for 7 minutes.
Ryan Gibson, Ryan Gibson, the quarterback for Green, 4 completions out of 8 attempts for 66 yards and a touchdown. Garrett Truman, 24 attempts, 191 yards and 2 TDs. So he's had a career already tonight.
And Truman, not a big running back, 5'8", 170.
But is he quick?
Yep. And another great kickoff by the Green kicker. Puts him back on the 1-yard line. Joe Tracomie right up the middle. And he brings it all the way up to the 30. And a late hit again and no flag again. I'll tell you what, this officiating crew doesn't like to throw flags.
Well, look how deep this kick is, but this time he managed to get up there and hit the wedge. And let's watch for the late hit. There, Tracomie goes right through the wedge, comes up here. He is tackled. Down he goes. And you see right there is the late hit.
Yeah,
oh, my.
I mean, he was already on his back.
Yeah, that was a missed call by the referees.
We've had several here that could have made a difference in this ball game Wadsworth's way. Hoover ready to go, hands off. No, fake pass, had me faked out. Throws it to Tracomie behind his back. Can't make the catch. Ball falls incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10. Speaking of quick running backs, I was talking to Matt Ford at halftime, and they did put a titanium rod in his leg, and surprisingly, Larry, no cast on his leg at all. And he said his femur was still broke, and they didn't put it in a cast, just have it wrapped with a soft gauze.
It's interesting how medical technology has changed over the years, and particularly with things like arthroscopic surgery, stuff like that. It's amazing what they can do. But here's 2nd and 10 for Wadsworth.
Hoover set to go, I formation, drop straight back. A little bit too long for Adam Copeland. This time we finally have a flag, and it's in the part of the field that's usually
holding against Wadsworth.
Well, it's either one of two things. Yeah, it's going to be holding against Wadsworth. It was on the side Brink was at too, and I thought they might have grabbed Brink coming off. So Grizzlies putting themselves in a little bit of a hold. Anyways, Matt Ford said the prognosis 3 to 6 months. It's as close as they could narrow it down. So
it's going to be interesting to see if Green accepts this penalty or not. I mean, the 3rd and 10 is nothing to sneeze at, and the way Wadsworth can go deep, I think I'd rather. No, they're taking the penalty.
Take it.
So it's going to be a 2nd, and I don't know how many, because holding is from the spot of the foul.
Well, at this point in time, the Grizzly offense, they don't have to get real hyper right now. They just got to make some nice things happen. 4:10 to play, 3rd quarter, only down by 3. Plenty of ball game left. Copeland's coming left, so is Ben Bugis.
It's a 12-yard penalty, so it's 2nd down and 22 on the 18-yard line.
Hoover set to go. Fake this time. Going for Chris Brink. It's going to be long. I think it is. All of a sudden, the Grizzlies might be trying to force a little bit. Trying to get the home run ball.
Yeah, I'm not sure that you really have to do that at this particular point in the game, but there have been all those long passes. So it brings up a 3rd and 22.
Well, that's the only bad thing to the 3 quick hits. You think you can make a living on that, and sometimes you can, but you got to try to sustain a drive. Grizzlies were 3 and out the first time. Hoover set to go. This time they had Brink covered, and he sacked. He's going to lose about 7 yards.
Well, that was a very unfortunate drive or lack of for the Grizzlies, and here they turn the ball over once again.
Well, the problem with that play that time really was Mike rolled out right. The only receiver on the right side was Chris Brink, and there was 3 Green Bulldogs around him. So Mike, did the smart thing there, eat the ball. Set the punt, Tony Moeller. He'll be standing on his 1 yard line or right at the end zone. And it's going to be a safety.
So that's 2 points, and so the score will go up to 26-21. And now Wadsworth has to put the ball in play from the 20-yard line by means of a free kick. And usually a free kick means a punt, because what happens is punts tend to hang up longer than kickoffs do, and they go almost the same distance. But that was a bad break for Wadsworth. So instead of being up by 3 now, Green is up by 5.
I have a feeling they're going to kick this ball instead of punt.
They might. Well, I'll tell you, Wadsworth looks rattled right now. I didn't like what I saw in that particular series of downs, because they look like they're panicking a little bit too early. When you score that many points that quick, you don't have to panic. You just need to play smart football and get the momentum back. Yeah, Galpert is back on the sideline, so they are going to punt. Tony Moeller will probably punt. Let's see what we got here.
Now the Grizzlies do need to step up. They're trailed by 5, 3:21 to play. Need to step up and have a nice defensive stand here. Deep right now for Green, Garrett Truman, and Drew Doak.
So a free kick from the 20-yard line on the safety, and what this means is Green is going to get the ball in excellent field position. I'll tell you, it always seems that when you have a safety, that the team that gets the kick turns around and scores again. It's just, you get the ball in such great field position, and it's hard to stop. There's the punt. Beautiful punt.
That time Moeller got off a great punt. And he touched it, and it's going to go out of bounds.
Stay in bounds. He's out of bounds. He was out of bounds.
Oh, great hit that time. Jake Wilhite said, hello, Mr. Truman, and just put his helmet right on Truman's head, and Truman's going to be leaving the game for a minute.
But one of the problems there is that the Green kick man picked up the ball out of bounds. His foot was on the out of bounds line. The referee was standing right there and didn't call it. So that's like about the 4th call that the refs have missed. And the referee wasn't any more than 5 yards away. But whatever, Wadsworth has pinned Green back pretty good, and Green takes over 1st and 10 on the 19-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, it might have been a good thing. Like I said, Jake Wilhite put a helmet on Garrett Truman, and Truman left the game. He's a little bit dazed right now. I formation, Ryan Gibson, and we're going to have motion more than likely on Green.
See what the refs are going to call. False start.
Yeah,
a false start on Green. I didn't see that. Did you see that, Jeff?
No, I did not see it myself, but I just knew when they blew the whistle to start, it had to be a procedure call.
It must have been one of the down linemen came out of his 3-point stance, because you couldn't see it over the Wadsworth defenders. But anyhow, it's 1st and 15 for Wadsworth. For Green on the 14-yard line.
Yeah, Wadsworth can use all the help they're getting right now. Like I said, you've had to replace Truman in the backfield with Mark Fuller. Patterson's still the up back there in the I formation. Gibson's going to send it out. And I'll tell you again, wide open. Mark Fuller. I'll tell you, I don't know what Green's doing to get those guys that big a gap.
Well, I think
on
that
the
time
left side.
Wadsworth, the 1st and 15, was playing back a little bit. They say, we're going to give you 5, we're not going to give you 50, and Jake McIlvain did come up and make a nice hit. So I think they were just playing a little bit loose that time, and there's McIlvain. Good stop. So that brings up 2nd down and 10 for Green.
Same way, I formation, Fuller, Tatterson behind Ryan Gibson. 2nd down and 10. Tatterson in motion, here comes it, back the other side. They're going to the counter, caught in the backfield. Great play that time. Didn't see which Grizzly grabbed him, but it was a great defensive play.
Well, I saw Ian
like
Formas getting up off the pile, and he might have been one. But
Formas,
actually,
and I think Jake Wilhite too.
that was just a good defensive play. But now here we go again. This is where Green is most dangerous, 3rd down and 10.
Well, for the Wadsworth, at least you can play a little bit of a different game because you've got Garrett Truman still on the bench, which I'm sure Green as an offense probably has more confidence in Truman.
Wadsworth playing very loose. They're playing pass. Draw play.
Inside draw, same play, inside draw. This time he's going to be short. Nice run by Tatterson. That time they had the inside handoff around the back, but it went to the up back.
Good hit by Jake Wilhite. So Wadsworth will get the ball, ostensibly. It's a 4th down and 2 for Green.
Jake Wilhite having a really good game defensively, made some real big plays.
Defense came up that time. Now Wadsworth will get the ball probably in pretty good field position, and hopefully they can push it in and take the lead.
Ben Bugis, Tracomie deep for the Grizzlies. I will tell you, the Green special teams have been doing real good as far as kickoffs and punt. Tracomie, and he's going to be stopped
at the 50.
Right at the 50, Tracomie meets 3 Green players. So the Grizzlies have to go half the distance of the football field. They got 1:06 to do it in the 3rd quarter. They trail by 5.
Well, I hope they come out this time and don't
Calm
be
down.
like, not quite in that panic mode as you watch the run back here. And rather than go for it all at once, work the ball downfield.
Yeah, take those 5 or 6 yarders. And Hoover hasn't thrown a short pass in
well, the one was dropped. There's a couple of them.
But that's the last one.
No, he tried to hit his fullback coming out and overthrew it. Yeah.
There's Tony Moeller straight up the Miller. Moeller's going to get about 3, maybe 4. They're going to give him 4. 2nd down, 6.
It's been a very fast 3rd quarter, mainly because of all the running that Green has been doing. So that'll bring up a 2nd down and 6 for Wadsworth, and 1, maybe 2 more plays, and that'll be the end of the 3rd quarter here.
Yeah, Green did it. I mean, they came out and they burnt 7 minutes off the clock.
All running, too.
Yeah, you didn't have any penalties, didn't have any passing. So, yeah, it was a constant clock. 33 seconds to go. Hoover comes up. Grizzlies I formation. And the draw play is going to get about 2 yards. Joe Tracomie, the ball carrier.
And it's going to bring up a 3rd, and they're going to mark it about 5. But I think as you watch the draw play here to Tracomie, a nice defensive play by 55, or he could have gone for a little way. But that'll be the last play of the quarter. So at the end of the 3rd quarter, it's going to be 26-21 Green. Green scored that touchdown and the safety. Here's the stats for you at the end of 3 quarters. Mike Hoover, 7 attempts, 14 yards, 235 yards, 2 TDs and an interception. He's rushed once for -3. It actually was a sack. Tracomie, 7 carries, 20 yards, 1 TD. Tony Moeller, 2 rushes for 20 yards. Receivers, Chris Brink, 3 catches, 107 and a TD. Copeland, 2 catches, 96 yards and a TD. Vujis, 1 catch for 32 yards. As far as Green is concerned, the big story, Garrett Truman, 24 attempts, 191 yards and 2 TDs. Jess Tatterson now has 12 carries for 90 yards. So they've been rushing the ball to the tune of almost 300 yards. Ryan Gibson, 4 completions and 8 attempts, but 66 yards and a touchdown came out of that. So we're going to start the 4th quarter. Wadsworth ball, 3rd down and 5 on the Green 45-yard line.
And while you were reading the stats, Larry, the officials got Wadsworth and Green face-to-face in a little huddle. And I have a feeling he was telling them that everybody better cool their mouths and I think there was a little bit of jawing going on. He had about a 20-second powwow with both teams at the center of the field before they turned the ball around.
Well, that's often good to do. You don't like to throw those personal foul flags unless you really have to. And tell them, settle down. We got another quarter to go.
Big play for the Grizzlies. 3rd down and 5. Hoover set to go, I formation. Looks for Bugis, right through Ben's hands. And the Grizzlies are probably going to have to punt, and they are. They're sending out the punting team.
If you watch this, the throw is just a little bit high. The coverage was pretty good, actually. So you watch them come out. There's Hoover rolling. And watch the ball just float that little bit. There you go.
Yeah, and Ben's made a lot of those this year, just a little bit off the fingertips. Ben's a basketball player, too. He's got that rebound hands. Grizzlies set to punt. Tony Moeller needs a punt like he just had. Need to put him back on about their 1 again. Oh, off the side of his foot, and it is shanked out of bounds.
That's going to be about a 5-yard punt.
Yeah, they're going to give him
maybe 10.
They gave him a benefit of the doubt. They could have marked that up a little bit further. It's going to be out on about the 37.
They're marking it at 31, so it actually went about 14 yards, but that was just a plain old shank. I think he was trying to just pooch the ball down there and punt it out of bounds, but caught it on the side. Actually, they're marking now it's a 12-yard punt. So here comes Green. 11:49 to go in the 4th quarter. They're going to take over on their own 32.
Gibson under center, and Truman's back in, and Gibson's going to keep it. And he's going to get about 4, I think. They're going to mark him at about the 35.
No, they're only going to give him 2 on that.
Yeah, I think they gave him a 35. Yeah. Yeah, 2.5, 3 yards in the carry.
So that brings up 2nd down and about 7 for Green.
All set to go again.
Tell you, looking at these kids, I think both teams, the offensive Green and the Wadsworth defense, are both starting to get a little tired. They're not quite as crisp on either side of the ball as they used to be.
Well, both of them have been out there for a long time, and there's a handoff to Truman right up the middle. Oh, that's Tatterson. First back through. Tatterson gets all the way to the 49. Going to be 1st down, 10 to go.
And Jeff Hanna made a touchdown saving tackle, but that's his job back there at free safety. As you watch as Tatterson comes right through untouched. Good opening at the line of scrimmage. And you watch, there's the tackle right there. 106 yards rushing. So they've got a total of, maybe 305 rushing yards so far this game.
Wadsworth needs to stop Green right now. They're going to have to do what they did the drive before and sort of sell out the drive.
That looks like a 6-yard pickup there.
Yes, it was.
So Green now is just starting to march the ball down the field. It's almost like they're starting to take control of the game as they head on down the field. That was a 6-yard pickup, so it's going to bring up the 2nd down and 4. And the ball is on the Wadsworth 44-yard line.
Set back this time. Truman, ball carrier, bounces off some Grizzly defenders. Gets into the secondary all the way down to the 29-yard line.
So there was another pickup of about 16 yards. And the problem now is Green is just doing basically whatever they want to do at the line of scrimmage. There is like no contact at the line of scrimmage at all. They're coming through the line absolutely untouched, and they're relying on the safeties to make their tackles, and that's not good.
Now it's crunch time for the Grizzlies. You're not in an emergency situation right now, but you need to start stopping Green. They're moving too freely. They're gaining 9, 10, 12 yards a carry. Again, Gibson's got him set to go in the I formation. This time Tatterson first back through, and he is going to go all the way down to the Grizzly 7 maybe, or 5.
Well, so it's a 22-yard pickup. And once again, the thing that I noticed, he came through the line of scrimmage untouched. There wasn't a Wadsworth defensive lineman or backer anywhere near him, and when he got in the open, he just rambled.
Yeah, they got to get some fresh legs up there on the Grizzly defensive line. Right now, Grizzly's just getting blown off the line of scrimmage.
Well, I think
I could run through the holes that the running backs are getting right now.
Oh, I couldn't run through them, but I could waddle through them.
Set to go. Gibson pitches out. Truman. He's going to dance right in. He does. Truman with a touchdown.
They made that look very, very easy. When he came out to the outside, there wasn't anybody near him. He just waltzed into the end zone. So that puts Green up by 11 points, 32-21. He has 213 yards rushing, and what this means is Wadsworth has to score 2 touchdowns in order to get back in the game to take the lead, and they've got to stop Green. Now, Wadsworth can do it. There's no doubt that they can score that fast, but the thing they haven't shown is right now that they can stop Green any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, they have not stopped Green yet.
So it's going to be a 12-point lead now, 33-21, and when you talk about crunch time, this is crunch time. We've got 9:05 to go, which is plenty of time the way this Wadsworth team plays, but they've got to do it.
Yeah, you've got the Grizzlies falling back on their heels a little bit. Defense is tired. Part of it is, Larry, the offensive, they've only been on the field for about 7 plays in the second half, I believe.
The newest numbers I've got, the rushing are just incredible. Garrett Truman, 26 attempts, 213 yards, and 3 touchdowns. And Jess Tatterson, 15 attempts, 137 yards. That's just awesome type numbers.
350 yards.
Yeah, about
rushing.
350 yards rushing offense. Plus, you put that 66 yards passing in there, and a touchdown. And this Green team really is a package. There's no getting around it. They are a load.
Well, you look down right now. The Grizzlies' defensive coaches are giving them a little bit of a fatherly advice down there, but you can tell by looking at their face, they're all just, they're tired.
Well, again, don't have stats for time of possession, but Green's got to have controlled the ball 80% of the time in this game.
Well, I think, like I said, I think the Grizzlies have had the ball eight plays in the second half so far.
And when you consider that like 4 of them were passes incomplete where the clock stopped, you've only run 15 seconds off the clock.
So now it's time. Grizzlies got to get a drive of their own, and they got to get a little bit of time on it, get the defense some rest. Nice kick this time, goes all the way down to the 5-yard line. Picked up by Ben Osterlin. Ben Osterlin gets out to the 20, and he's drilled. Grizzlies will take over 1st and 10 on the 20. And then you got to think, too, Larry, a lot of these guys in defense, they go both ways as far as offense and defense.
If this tackle was missed on Osterlin, he would have run for another 40 yards because he's through everybody there, and then one hit. And the only person between him and the goal line was the kicker. So here we go. Hoover coming out in the field. 1st and 10, Wadsworth on the 20-yard line.
Yeah, now you're going to see if they got some composure. They need to poise themselves and get a long drive. Right now, it'd be better off they use 5 minutes and score than 2 plays and score. Give the defense a little rest. Hoover under center. Grizzlies in the I formation. Inside, out to Adam Copeland at the 31-yard line.
So that's a pickup of 11 and a first down. It's the first down for Wadsworth in the second half. Nice little pattern by Copeland. Pretty good defense by Green. I think that the Green defensive backs are going to start giving Wadsworth that pass more and more and more. They just don't want them deep, scoring quick.
Bugis on her left side, Copeland on the right. Grizzlies in the power I. Or just in the eye, not the power. Here it comes down the field almost picked off again.
Oh, you could see that one come. There's a flag on the play, and I don't know what that's going to be. There's got to be a personal foul. Delnos and somebody from the Green defense were going at it, but I didn't see what it was. But that ball had interception written all over it because when Copeland broke to the outside, the defender broke right in front of him. And I don't know if he could have caught the ball if he had been out of bounds, but let's see what the referees are calling here. Personal foul on Green.
I'm pretty sure that Green's watched the films on the Grizzlies. He had that, he ran that pattern better than Adam did that time.
Yep.
Stepped right in front of him. He knew it was coming.
Well, this is a nice boost for the Grizzlies here, this 15-yard pickup. So they're going to make it, that's going to make it 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line of Wadsworth, I believe. Yeah, they're spotting the ball on the 46.
8:31 to play, plenty of time. Grizzlies just need to march it on down, get a score. Ben Osterlin spreads out to the left, Adam Copeland right. Grizzlies in the I formation, Moeller the up back, Joe Jacome the running back. Mike Hoover back to pass. The give and go that time to Copeland.
Nice
He had
catch
one
by
leg in.
Copeland. And
Had 1 foot.
that ball was a half a step away from being intercepted once again. The defender cut in front of Copeland, but Copeland made a nice turnaround move, caught the ball 1 foot in bounds. And in high school ball, all you have to do is keep 1 foot in bounds.
I think if he would have led him just a little bit more on that, I think that would have been 6 points.
Well, Wadsworth has the ball at the 35, 1st and 10.
The receiver or the defender bit on the up. Hoover set to go again. Grizzlies hand off to Comey. The only one fooled was, Tacomey did a nice job. He ran for about 15 yards, but he just got back to the line of scrimmage.
That was a great run because
Yes,
he was nailed in the backfield. This didn't fool anybody. Boom, right there.
He gets hit once.
Tacomey manages to break away, gets hit here and
Twice.
busts away. And
3 times,
yeah.
and finally goes down.
But that brings up a 2nd down and 10 for Wadsworth. And let's see what they can do here. 7:50 to play and the clock is running in the 4th quarter.
Grizzlies send out all the receivers. I'll tell you what, right now, look at Osterlin at about the goal line with nobody around him.
Well,
That time double coverage on Adam Copeland.
I'm really surprised that Hoover threw into double coverage because Copeland was covered front and back. It would have had to have been a perfect throw and a spectacular catch, and they didn't come up with it. So that's going to bring a 3rd down and
I think you're almost at, you're in 4 play down anyway.
oh yeah,
4 down
yeah,
play.
you're going to have to go for it on 4th down. So
This time, Copeland and Bugis on the left side. Nobody on the right. They got Brink here on the right-hand side. And Brink gets it coming across the middle. Brink gets it down to about the 16-yard line. Grizzlies, big play, 1st down, 10 to go. Chris Brink, nice job that time getting off the line of scrimmage. He rolled to the right, watch him come across. Here he comes.
18-yard pickup.
And Hoover did a nice job putting it to him in stride. And Brink gets it down to the 16-yard line. Grizzlies marching, 7:27 to play. Hoover's going to get Copeland over to the other side. So now Copeland and Osterlin both on the right-hand side. Hoover takes the snap. Roll out, and Hoover's going to keep it. Hoover's going to get down to the 10, down to about, and thrown out of bounds. I'll tell you what. Nice defensive play, but...
No, you're not going to get a flag on that one.
No. Nice defensive play, but he made sure Mike made it all the way to the sidelines.
So the ball's now on the 8-yard line, so it's going to be a 1st and goal. Here comes Hoover right here. Let's watch this hit. No, that's good hit.
Oh, yeah.
Good hit.
Gave him a little bit of a twirl, got him out of bounds.
1st and goal on...
No, second and 1.
Oh, 2nd and 1. He didn't make the 1st down.
No, 2nd down and 1. Hoover, handoff to Comey up the middle. Green trying to strip the ball away.
I don't know if he made it or not.
I think it looked like he got down to the 6, and that's where they had to go. It's going to be awful close where the spot is. Yeah, they're going to say it's 3rd down. They're going to say he didn't make it. They spotted it to 7, so.
It's going to be 3rd and 1.
All set to go. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see a sneak this time with Hoover, especially if they don't put a nose guard over the center, and they don't.
He hasn't run that quarterback draw all night, or the quarterback sneak, and he does just
that's
go
what I figured you were going to see. And they had not a nose tackle in.
You know, what they probably did is not call that play in the huddle, but when they come up the line of scrimmage, sometimes the quarterback will just like hit the center to say, okay, just kick out and we'll go forward. Because it's hard to call that play down there if you've got somebody over your center. If you've got a nose tackle there with nobody there, it's like a gift of 3 or 4 yards. So the clock's running with 6:22. Wadsworth has the ball. 1st and goal on the 5.
1st and goal on the 5. Wadsworth would like to punch this thing in rather quickly.
Hoover rolls left.
Oh, off the hands of Adam Copeland.
That was interesting, Hoover rolling left, because usually he rolls right. Obviously, if you're a right-handed quarterback, it's very difficult to throw the ball to your left when you roll left. But he's so strong-armed that he could do it. Now it was just off the fingertips of Adam Copeland. So it's going to bring up a 2nd and 5 for Wadsworth with 6:08 to go on the clock.
All set to go. Mike Hoover brings him up. He's under center. Moeller, Tacomey in the I formation. Osterlin, Copeland spread out left. And this time to Brink in the corner. Rolled out left, turned right, found Brink in the corner of the end zone
Nice
for a
catch by
5-yard
Chris Brink.
touchdown pass.
You watch this roll left, and he turns around and looks right, and Chris Brink has beaten the defender back there. That was still a very good catch by Chris Brink because the coverage wasn't that bad.
Nice pass to Mike, threw a nice tight spiral in there. Brink with the good hands, brought it in. Grizzlies got a chance to cut it within 5.
And
Jeff Hanna to hold.
290 yards passing for Mike Hoover. That is good.
These two teams, between two of them, are getting close to 700 or 800 yards in total offense.
But right now, okay, you look at what's going on. It's 33-28 Wadsworth. Wadsworth is down. 6:02 to go. The Wadsworth defense has to stop Green. That's all there is to it. Here's some numbers. Hoover 11 out of 21 for 290 yards and 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Chris Brink now has 5 catches for 131 yards and 2 TDs. So it's been quite an aerial show. This is pretty much what we thought it was going to be and what it's got to come down to. Right now, the Wadsworth defense has got to stop Green, and they got to stop him right away. Yeah,
right now the game goes on the shoulder of the defense because if Wadsworth, Green's been putting together 5, 6, 7 minutes drives, and there's only 6:02 left. So
yeah, they could just, the way they've been playing, they could take the ball and just run the clock out, believe it or not, with 6:02 to go. So Wadsworth has got to put the big stop on right here.
Yeah, you're going to have to, I think you're going to have to sell out the pass for a while here with Wadsworth, and because Green, I don't think they're going to pass unless they absolutely have to. They're going to try to kill the clock. Sam Galper getting ready to kick for the Grizzlies. Deep. Garrett Truman, and I definitely kick away from him.
Well, I would say that they're just going to punch the ball down the center and let it roll and hope something happens. Let's see what we got here. And there, that's an onside kick, and Wadsworth.
That wasn't even an onside kick. I mean, that was a great, line drive, hits the Green player, comes back to the Wadsworth side. Wadsworth gets a ball. You couldn't have wrote that script.
No, that doesn't happen.
Yeah, you can't practice that either.
That doesn't happen.
That's the background when you have Sam, the soccer player. That was a nice shot on goal right there.
Basically, it wasn't. The goalie blocked it, but he blocked it to a Wadsworth defender. So Wadsworth gets the break now, and they take over 1st and 10 on the 49. I think technically that's a fumble recovery.
Yeah, it'll go like an onside, and it is a fumble. Hoover back. Is he going to try to collect real quick? He is going long to Chris Brink.
Just overthrown.
Just off Chris's hands, a little bit long on the pass, but now here again, Grizzlies got a great opportunity here. You got to take advantage of it. You don't have to do this in 1 or 2 plays.
He had all the time in the world, and Brink just overthrown. And I tend to agree with you. You don't have to get it all now. In fact, it behooves you to run some time off the clock and score. So let's see what they do now. They're only down 5 points, so a touchdown would put them up.
Hoover under center. Copeland split right along with Osterland. Osterland's deep. And there again, nothing there. Trying to go the long distance. First pass was 40 yards. That was 25 or 30.
Just out of the reach.
And this really isn't
good defense.
This isn't 4-down territory now, not with a 5-point game.
I don't think it is. They'll punt the ball if they have to. But I sure hope Wadsworth doesn't squander this opportunity. But this is a big play. I mean, the whole football game could turn on this play right here. 3rd and 10. For the first time tonight, Hoover's in the shotgun.
And they just had a motion penalty on the Wadsworth team, and it was the left side. It was whoever the left tackle is.
So that brings up a 3rd and 15, makes it a little bit tougher for Wadsworth. And like I said, they had a wonderful opportunity here with the ball on the 50-yard line. But so far, 2 downs, they've come up empty, and coming into 3rd down, a 5-yard penalty makes it 3rd and 15. The ball's on the 46.
Evan Gosher that time got a little bit impatient. Came out of the stance. 3rd down, 15. Hoover again in the shotgun. Copeland on the right side. Osterland on the left. Oh no, they got Copeland on the left. you what, that was a great play. Problem was, Tricome coming around the left side got tripped up at his own feet a little bit, couldn't get to the ball. Watch, if you have it on the replay, watch Tricome stumble a little bit. I think he already has done it.
Ball.
He had stumbled already before this point. He never got to where he was going.
So is Wadsworth going to punt?
I got to believe you do. With 5:43 to play.
No.
Yeah, they are. Oh, no, they're not. I can't believe that.
Well, they're putting the whole game on the line right here. 3rd and 15, 4th and 15.
You know what? They may try to draw them off. I thought they tried to draw them off.
What a catch.
But that was going to be short even if he made it.
That was short anyhow. That was not a well-run route.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the theory there was. If you're going to go for it, you got to go for the first down.
Yeah, Copeland ran about a 12-yard pattern. I don't know if he thought it was 4th and 10, but he ran only a 12-yard pattern, and they needed 15 yards. So Green will take over on the Wadsworth 41-yard line with 5:37 to go, and I have a hunch they're just going to try to run out the clock.
Yeah, you got to sell out the run right now. Patterson and Truman behind Gibson. Hand off Tatterson, and he gets through for about 4 yards. Tatterson actually got hit in the backfield.
Well, that was a sloppy handoff. What happened is the quarterback and the running back collided, and Tatterson couldn't get up ahead of steam, which allowed the Wadsworth Grizzlies to make the defensive play. So that brings up a 2nd down and 7, I would say. He gained about 3. Most importantly, though, the enemy isn't Green as much as it is the clock, and we're down to 5 minutes and 11 seconds and counting here.
Great high school football game, though. Grizzlies need a stand here.
Well, again, I'm impressed with all the weapons Green has thrown at them.
Hand off, our pitch out to Truman. Caught. Nice play that time. I think that was Delnos, and I think he pulled his back a little bit.
Yeah, he came down very awkward. If you watch when he makes the tackle, he tries to spin the ball player around, and notice how he comes down and he hyperextends his back. But I guess he's staying in there. So that's going to be a 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Matt's a tough, hard-nosed football player. I don't think.
Well, he's a big, strong kid.
Yeah, you'd have to carry him out of there right now. He wants to be there at crunch time.
And it is.
Grizzlies set to go here. They got about 6 yards. Green, Gibson ready to go. I formation. Sell out the run, and Gibson's going to keep it. Oh, that could be interference and no flag. Oh.
And stop the clock with 4:13. Now, I don't know if this is interference or not, but it comes as close as you want to get.
It was close.
Ball. Let's see what we got. Very close, very close.
His hand was on his shoulder. They didn't call it, and that, well, after the ones they've let go on one end, you better not call that.
So Green is going to punt the ball, and I'm sure they will. The ball's on the 41-yard line, and they'll probably just try to pooch it down, maybe to set Wadsworth back on the 10.
Wadsworth set again, like a fake may be coming. And they didn't
really hits it. Oh,
it gets in the end zone.
So Wadsworth will take over on the 20.
What a setting, huh?
Yeah, and I'll tell you, Jeff, this is one of those things I don't think Wadsworth can go for it all in one shot. No. They're going to have to work their way down the field. They got plenty of time.
You don't want to go for it all. You want to burn, the ideal situation, burn about 3 minutes and 40 seconds and
no, why don't we
score.
burn 4 minutes and 4 seconds as long as we're burning time? Might as well burn it all but one.
That would give me an ulcer if you burned it down to 4:04.
So
Hoover set to go, I formation. Bugis on the right side, Copeland on the left. And here comes Bugis, 10-yard gain on a nice turnaround.
Now that's what you want to do. That was a good, safe pass. If he couldn't catch it, nobody was going to. And the referees are not stopping the clock on the first down.
Why is the clock running?
With the chains moving. So now they stop the clock.
They're going to make them put it back on.
Yeah.
Tell you what, the scorekeeper here has been a little green friendly. Can't imagine that. Should be about 3:48. And he's going to go back over and tell them again, but they should put about 14 seconds back on.
right now, Ben Hoover has passed for 301 yards. And let's see what they do put. He's going over, signaling to the clock operator, see what they put on the clock.
Well, like I said, the one official on the field has actually official time.
Going over to the booth, and they're saying, I can't, let's say, putting up a fine.
No, they're telling them to put 10 seconds back on, which 10 seconds isn't enough.
What they'll probably do is just not start the clock for 10 seconds.
There it is. They put 10 back on, 3:44. Every time watchers complain, that 10 second is the magic number. Hoover set to go, I formation. Ben Osterlin and Adam Copeland both split right. Brink tight end on the right-hand side. I mean, they're split on the left. Oh, that time Hoover is sacked in the backfield. Russ Priest.
Good defensive play by the green line. That was not a coverage sack. By the time Hoover got turned around, there wasn't anything there. So it's a loss of about 5, I think. So it brings up a second down and 15.
Green Bulldogs playing a great game so far tonight.
You got to give them credit. They're good. They're good, particularly on offense. They just come at you so different many ways. And now there's Hoover back in the shotgun.
It's complete over the middle to Adam Copeland.
Short of the first down, but it's going to bring up a third and about maybe 2.
Yeah, well now you know this is definitely
4 down
territory.
Actually,
for the rest of the way.
This is 5 down territory.
Yeah.
Nice catch by Copeland. Well, that wasn't as long as I thought, so it brings up a 3rd and 5. That was only a 10-yard pickup. 2:42 on the clock, but again for Wadsworth, that's plenty of time. But what they got to do right now is pick up this first down, the 3rd and 5.
Copeland on the right-hand side, Osterlin left. When the crunch time's on, they like Hoover likes to hook up with Copeland. Got those sure hands. Here it comes. Get out of bounds, Adam. Okay, Adam, he doesn't get out of bounds, but he gets up to the 48-yard line, 2:22 to play. They should stop the clock. They do. Amazing.
Did he get out of bounds? Or
no, they're going to stop to move the chains.
Yeah, there's the pass. And now he fakes outside and then cuts back in, starts to run with the ball. No, he wasn't anywhere near the out of bounds.
Nope.
It's a little tough for us to see because the Wadsworth players are standing right in front of the sideline. So 1st and 10, 2:15 to go for Wadsworth.
Hoover set to go again. This time you know what's coming. I mean, it's passing the rest of the way out here. They try to get it back to Copeland again. I think Copeland actually was looking for the ball on the outside shoulder. Mike threw it on the inside shoulder, incomplete.
Well, I'll tell you what that does good is it stops the clock, and it's going to allow Wadsworth all to get on the same page now because that was a hurry-up type pass. 33-28, 2:07 to go. Wadsworth has got the ball on the 47-yard line of green. I mean, on their own 47-yard line, so see what happens here.
This drive, it's been mostly Hoover and Copeland. This time, again to Copeland. And they're going to give him the reception. Should be right about the first down.
I think it's going to be short of the first down by about a yard.
That is real close. I bet you they're going to measure this.
No, I think it's well short.
Oh, they're going to give it a first down. They're not going to measure it. Yeah.
Oh, surprised at that one. I thought he was like a yard short of the first down, but so Wadsworth now has the ball on the green 43-yard line. 1:56 to go, and the clock is running again.
Well, the clock actually can start when the chains are moved. That time the clock's not that bad. As soon as the chains move, the clock does stop, or start, excuse me. Copeland again. This is all of a sudden the Copeland and Hoover show.
Wadsworth has 3 timeouts, and there they take the first one right there. Timeout Wadsworth with 1:34 to go. That was about an 8-yard pickup, so it's going to bring up 2nd down and about, well, I guess we're marking the 2nd and 3 on the 35-yard line. So Wadsworth takes timeout, and it really is crunch time.
Well, Larry, it looks like they're going to go with your theory to use the old 4 minutes and 4 seconds.
Yeah. 4 minutes and 4 seconds and then kick.
Well, that'd be wonderful. Ball on the 35, Grizzlies 35 yards away.
But what I like about this one is you see what's happened to Wadsworth so far is they're not going all for it in one chunk. They're just throwing the short outs, the relatively safe passes where they're taking 2-3 passes maybe to pick up a first down instead of going 20-30 yards down the field. So they got 1:34, and with the Wadsworth offense, of course, this is plenty of time to go the 35 yards, 36 yards that they need to go for the touchdown.
And sooner or later in this drive, so far it's been exclusively Copeland and Hoover. Sooner or later in this drive, I think you're going to see Brink over the middle. They're going to start double coverage Copeland if he keeps catching the passes. Right now they got single coverage on him on this side. Out of bounds. Now they stop the clock this time. Grizzlies got to get up ready to go.
That was a nice play because it did pick up the first down and it stopped the clock. Nice play. There's Copeland, and he drives in. No, he didn't get out of bounds.
No, they stopped the clock for the chains.
Again, we can't tell because of where the Wadsworth players are standing on the sideline whether he gets out of bounds or not.
30-yard line. Hoover set to go. Oh, man. I'll tell you what.
Oh, my heart beats still.
1 yard more, it's a touchdown. A yard shorter, it's an interception.
Hoover was in trouble here. A good defensive play by the green line, and Hoover had to throw this ball off balance. Yeah. He threw it off his back foot and kind of shot-putted it out there, and a yard further, a yard shorter.
Yeah.
Oh, my.
Yard further, that's a touchdown.
A yard shorter, it's an interception. Yeah. So that stops the clock with 1:13 to go, and the ball's on the 30-yard line, 2nd and 10.
Hey, this is what high school football is all about. Hoover set to go, I formation. Copeland, Osterland. Brink gets out of bounds this time. They stop the clock, gain of about 6.
Well, you said they'd be seeing Chris Brink. He ran the ball. He came across the field from his tight end position. And
Brink's getting up a little slow.
There's Chris Brink. Catches the ball, turns downfield, and gets hit. Pretty good defense there, and
got out of bounds.
So it stops the clock with 1:06 to go. And the ball is on the 24-yard line, and Wadsworth has a 3rd down and about 4 to go. They have 2 timeouts, remember.
Look for Tacomie out of the backfield on a, oh man, get him, oh. Now this is
I don't know if they're going to call that a fumble or a pass because Tacomie was in front of there, and they could call it an incomplete pass.
54 seconds ago. Well, the ball game's going to be on this 4th down and 12 play.
They call it a fumble that was recovered by Tacomie, and Wadsworth called a timeout. And what it brings up is a 4th and 12, and this is the ball game right here. If you watch this, it's a good defensive play by Green. Now, was Hoover throwing the ball or was he going down? You see there, he's starting to go down. Oh, the ball does pop out. That was obviously a fumble. I thought he might have been trying to flip the ball forward to Tacomie, but it was obviously a fumble.
When I said watch for Tacomie, I didn't mean in that sense.
No, not in the backfield recovering fumbles. That's not where you want.
I thought you'd see him on a swing pass. They'd let him come untouched the last couple times out. Well,
here's the whole game right here.
Yeah.
You got 12 yards to go, 54 seconds to go. Wadsworth does have 1 timeout, but you've got to pick up the 12 on this play.
Crunch time, folks. 54 seconds to go. Green High School. Mike Hoover set to go. So are the Grizzlies. Brink on the right end. Copeland, Osterland spread left. Chris Brink on a deflection, caught the ball, bobbled it, and came up with a touchdown.
Watch this.
Oh, man. You've got to be kidding.
Unbelievable.
It's tipped. It's dropped.
Got it. Touchdown. What a play by Chris Brink.
Holy moly. A nice pass, a nice catch, a bobble, a little juggling act.
Well, I'll tell you, that's where the basketball player comes in. That was a jump ball. Oh, my heart beats still.
Larry, this is the kind of game I feel bad for the Green Bulldogs right now because they got to just think that, I don't know what they think.
Jeff, I'll feel sorry for them in 46 seconds. They can score.
No. Well, that's true. They got 46 seconds. We got to kick it off yet, but, I mean, to play the kind of game they played, and Brink came up with a huge catch in the end zone.
I wouldn't be surprised if Wadsworth went for 2 because that would put it in field goal range.
Yeah, there's no sense of going for 1
No sense for going for 1. 2-point lead's no different than a 1-point lead. And they are going to go for 2 points, I think. They're lining up.
Yeah, they're going to go for 2.
They got a full house backfield. I've never seen them run this before.
Moeller, Dent, Tracomie in the backfield behind Mike Hoover. Chris Brink on the right end. No receivers in.
I have a hunch one of those backs is going to go out and be a wide receiver before the snap. Nope.
Hoover's going to try to take it himself. He does. 2-point conversion's good. Grizzlies on top, 36-33. If you were going to write a script for a great football game, you couldn't write anyone better than what we're just seeing here
These
tonight.
numbers for Mike Hoover, 18 out of 35, 381 yards and 4 TDs. Chris Brink, 7 catches, 169 yards and 3 TDs. That one spectacular. Copeland, 9 catches, 169 yards, 1 TD. Vujis has 2 receptions for 43. And you watch the replay here of Hoover going in for the 2-point conversion. Oh, this is the touchdown. Watch again.
See if it does get deflected. It does, a little bit. Brink.
What a play. But we've got an eternity left here in 46 seconds left to go.
Well, the only thing now, Larry, I think now if you kick the ball down and put it down about their 25 or 30, they're going to have to get away from the running game.
Yeah,
they're going to have to get into the passing game.
That's the thing. Who's that?
Hoover's down on the sidelines. I don't know what happened to him. He got hit pretty good when he came across the end zone line. And he's laying flat on his back behind the Grizzly bench right now.
Well, I certainly hope that Mike's okay. And I don't think they're going to need him the rest of the night.
Well, they're looking at his neck, I think, but
or
yet
his shoulder.
He's,
Might be his shoulder. But Galpert is going to kick off.
385 yards. Yeah, the last thing you want to do, this ball should not make it any further than number 67 at the 25-yard line. You don't want Truman or Dokes to get the ball.
Another
It's not.
good kick, good kick.
They're going to let it go through. And he's down at the 30-yard line.
So here's the scenario. The ball's on the 30-yard line. 41 seconds to play. Green's down by 3.
We got a Wadsworth player on the field also hurt. So we got the quarterback behind the bench, and we have somebody on the center of the field.
You watch the ball there, dribble down. And there's a tackle there. I don't know who it is that's down. It looks like a muscle cramp. It could be a knee they're talking.
Yeah, the way they're pushing it must be a muscle cramp. Because if it was a knee, I don't think they'd be extending it quite so bad. Still, they got both the medical staff looking at Mike Hoover on the sideline. Tell you what, gutsy drive. You had Adam Copeland that caught, I think, 5 the first 6 passes. Then you had Brink catch 1.
Tony Mullis kind of does look like a muscle cramp as far as he's concerned. So, 41 seconds to go. There's Hoover on the sideline.
This is the kind of game as a player, you'll remember this all your life. Great ball game. 36-33.
I don't think anybody's left the stadium yet. Well, they might not.
Ryan Gibson, now he's going to have to throw the ball, and there's nobody there. Now he comes clean across the middle. Out of bounds all the way down to 40. Drew Doak, 33 seconds to go. That time, Doak played cat and mouse in the center of the field and then broke clear on the pass. Watch this. He's standing in the center of the field right now, and then all of a sudden he breaks left.
So they say he stepped out on the 41-yard line here.
Ryan Gibson set to go. Be a great time for an interception. Fumble and a handoff. Truman gets nailed on the sideline.
But he got out of bounds. So that's going to stop the clock with 22 seconds to go. And you know that
McCarthy nailed him on the sideline.
I think that's the 4th fumble, and they were lucky to recover that one. It just kind of bounced back into the quarterback's hands.
Green has been lucky on all their turnovers. They could, well, they haven't had but the 1 turnover. They could have had 4 fumbles and an interception.
So second down, about 4 on the 36. Back to pass.
Woo, man.
16 seconds to go, and Green has the ball, and it's on about the 25-yard line, I believe. And they might be in field goal range already.
Yeah, their kicker.
That'd be a 42-yarder. That's pretty long for high school. You don't want to try it, but
I'll tell you what, this game is far from over with 16 seconds. Set to go again. We need an interception here. Handoff, Patterson up the middle. I think they are in field goal range now. And they're going to try it.
Call timeout with 9 seconds to go. And the ball is going to be spotted on the 16-yard line, I believe.
Boy, did that two-point conversion, is that coming up big or not?
Yeah. I think they're spotting it on the 17-yard line. So that would be a 34-yard field goal.
I need to bite my tongue. I had this game over with 40 seconds left. I forgot just how
explosive
Green was.
And with Ben Hoover down on the sidelines, you don't want to go into overtime, that's for sure.
Yeah, because Jeff Hanna's had some snaps as the backup quarterback, but he hasn't had that many. He's been in when a couple games were blowouts. Hoover's still not moving. They got his parents down, so he must be having either shoulder or neck problems. They're working on his neck, and they're not taking the helmet off. I'd be real surprised if Green even runs another play, but yeah, they got the field goal kicker is Austin Wellick, and he's still on the sideline, so Green's going to run the ball. See right here, if you can stop him or throw him for a loss. Yeah, Mike Hoover, the good thing is his feet are moving, his arms are moving. I mean,
that almost looks like a pinched nerve to me.
I don't know why they haven't taken the helmet off though yet. I guess they're just trying to make sure that there's nothing serious in his neck. But he came off on his own power, so he might have.
Now here comes the field goal team on.
Yeah, I would have been real surprised if you run a play there. You can have a lot of bad things happen.
$34-yard field goal. Actually, it's going to be a 35-yarder where they're setting it up. So here's the whole game for Green, this 35-yard field goal. From the look of the kicker, from what I've seen on his kickoffs, he can make this. So it's not out of his range by any chance.
I'm thinking wide right, personally.
So here we go. Green trying to send the game into overtime. It's no good. It's wide left, and Wadsworth wins the game.
That's the ball game.
Left.
See, never a doubt.
3 seconds to go.
Never a doubt. Now our concerns with 3 seconds turn over to Mike. See what's wrong with Mike Hoover on the sideline. Like I said, he's still with nowhere to go. I'll tell you what, folks.
This
the Green Bulldogs, the Green Bulldogs played a perfect.
Now you can feel sorry for Green.
I mean, other than the couple turnovers that weren't turnovers, the fumbles they recovered, they played a perfect ball game.
So I'm sure Jeff Hand is in there at quarterback, though I can't see a number. He'll just take a snap and kneel down, and that'll be the end of the game.
Well, you know, Larry, this is Jeff Jenkins. I had fun sitting in for John. He's at the wedding rehearsal, and
he missed a good one.
Oh, he did. He probably missed the best game of the season as of right now.
And it's been a pleasure working with you too, as Hannah takes the snap here.
What a ball game! Holy moly!
The game is over. And that's
gonna do it. That's going to do it for Green High School. See you next week. Hope you all enjoy this on WCTV. We'll be back with you next week when Wadsworth heads to Norton.